What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your post-match live for the USMNT's 2-0 victory over Bosnia in the World Cup round of 32. I'm going to be hanging out, reacting to the result, maybe taking some calls later. It's been a big day of footy. I was out at Senegal versus Belgium earlier, and that was pretty electric. And the USMNT is now through. So we figured we wanted to do a show, couldn't do a watch along today, but I am going to be running this post-match live. I'll be hanging out for at least an hour or two, maybe longer, depending on how it goes. But a lot to talk about. Hope you all have been enjoying the World Cup and hope you all enjoyed that game. A big win for the USA, but at what cost? Fuller and Balogun picks up a red card in the 64th minute, and now we have to play this Belgium match without our best player, or at least our best attacker in this tournament. Balogun had been playing so well, and that was a controversial call, to say the least. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to be talking about the game. We're going to be previewing the Belgium game. So everybody get on in here. Give me your reaction. Give me your takes. Yep, let's get the chat going. Third ring star. Thank you, Dusty. Thank you. No, you're good. All caps are fine. The U.S. is through. And man, I got quite a lot to say about this game, actually. So excited to get into it. If you have not done so yet, as always, please sub to the channel, like, comment, subscribe, rate 5 stars. Follow us on all socials. Get your QED coffee subscription, all that good stuff. But yeah, let's get the chat going. We got the peppier Haji discourse. We'll get into that. But how are you guys feeling? How you doing, chat? It's an interesting feeling right now for the USMNT because I think obviously the most important thing with that game was to get the win by any means necessary. But to lose Balogun in that way, at that point in the game, with the way that he's been playing, how badly our team needs him specifically, it's just that my first reaction when that red card came out was, does it even matter if we win this game from the perspective of can we beat Belgium without Balogun? Can we do that? And I was emotional in the moment, and I felt like probably not. It feels like that guy, as much as it's him and Chris Richards. If you take Balogun and Chris Richards out of this lineup, what do? We don't really have many plans past those positions past those guys. So we'll see how Pochettino lines it up. But should we just talk about the call straight up, off rip? There's so many. I don't know where to begin with this. Obviously, the call is going to that red card call is going to be the hot button talking point, as it should be. But I guess let's just start with the game itself. Let's start with the game itself because the U.S. was obviously favored going into this game by more than I felt comfortable with, to be honest with you. If you looked at all the Vegas stuff, the odds makers, that's how you can tell who the favorite really is. And we were favored by a lot. I'm not used to that. Not used to that. I'm used to going into these games being like, oh, okay, how are we gonna bunker troll ball our way out of this? That was not the situation with this game. Bosnia they were in that situation. They were the ones who had to come into this sitting back and defending for their lives and trying to punch above their weight. Right? So it was just kind of weird, I think, in general, going into a game feeling like the pressure was actually on you to win. Whereas the USMNT fan base, we're not used to that. It's just not the role that we usually play. Now we're playing that. So that was my first question, though, was how do you respond to that? Because being the favorite is all well and good, but it doesn't really matter once the game kicks off. So I was curious to see how we would come out, how we would look. And To be honest with you, I know that it took us a while to score that goal in the first half, but that first half to me felt about as one-sided as it gets for a 0-0. You could see it happening from the very first minute that the match kicked off. It very quickly became one of those games where it was a 75-25 type possession split. I looked at it at one point, we were at like 91% passing accuracy on like 200 more passes than them. They had a couple good looks right after the game started, one off a set piece. I think both of them were off corner kicks, actually. And that was pretty much it for them until the very end of the game. After Tillman scored, they didn't really have anything. So from that perspective, it was actually, I thought it was going great. And frankly, once Balogun scored and made it 1-0, I was like, all right, you need to get the second goal. You do need to get the second goal because anything can happen. But, sorry, one sec. You have to get the second goal. But I felt great about our chances of getting that second goal. And it really felt like not cruise control, but like I didn't really feel like the outcome was much in doubt. And I think that's part of what makes this red card so frustrating. You're ahead in the game. You're way better than this team. You're beating the hell out of this team. And all right, let's just talk about the call. Let's talk about the call. Everyone wants to talk about the call. I'm seeing some people hate the call. Some people are saying Balogun needs to be smarter than that. I hate the call. If you want to call that a yellow card, he probably should have gotten a yellow card for that. That's a yellow card play. And basically what happened is they were like, oh, that should have been a yellow card. Well, now we have to go back and make it a red card. No, you don't. Catch it on the field or fuck off. That's my take on that call. Catch that on the field. If it's that bad and it was that malicious, catch it on the field or fuck off. Don't talk to me. God. I think your intent has to factor in that situation. Did he mean to do it? I know everyone, your intent doesn't matter. In this particular type of challenge, your intent should matter. You can't tell me that he meant to do that. It was an accident. Clearly. Unless the VAR is psychic and can read his mind. It's incidental contact. He didn't mean to do it. He did. When you slow it down, yes, frame by frame, he rakes him on the back of the calf. Yeah, so I get why. Oh, God. It's just stuff like this does not have to be as black and white as they make it. They are looking at that and they say, oh, well, that studs the calf. It's over. That's no debate. Red card. No, there is a debate there. He didn't see it on the field. He didn't catch it on the field. He didn't mean to do it. It was clearly an accident. You either need to give him a yellow card on the field when you catch it or leave the call how you called it. Like, we don't need to be doing that. And I say this as someone who I've been on my pro VAR soapbox even after a couple of the controversial moments in this tournament. And we got Noah tapping in. Let's go. Let's get him in here. Hell yeah, there he is.
What a win. What a win. Against all odds.
I was just whining about the red card, so feel free to pick up there or any takes at all that you got on the match.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is that's not a red card. That's never been a red card. VAR needs to end. We need to seek a legal injunction against VAR. What have they done this tournament so far? Let's break it down for you. Iran, a team, did not lose a single World Cup match. They had their tournament ended because of a boss call. You don't think that Gianni Infantino wasn't in there making a boss call saying, VAR, today I do not feel Iranian. And he hung up that phone. Today, if you look at that foul and you are like, oh no, that's awful, that's terrible, you have never played soccer in your life like ever. The momentum of both of those players going into each other, clearly both playing the ball, and someone saying intention doesn't matter. It does matter.
It should.
Does matter.
It should.
It does matter. I don't care if, listen, people are making a comparison to the Leo Messi tackle, which, again, that was not called a red. That was not reviewed and called a red. And I agree with that. This should not be a red card. This should not be a red card. If you watch back that foul in real time, it does not look bad. It does not look as bad as the close-up,
it's slow down,
motion,
0.002 frames per second.
Ankle bender, and then they pause when the ankle's bent on the ground, and it's like, Sure, you want to say that Flo should have been more careful there. I disagree with you. It's the fucking World Cup. It is a knockout game. These are physical matches, and FIFA has been letting a lot of things go. So if you're going to... Also, I love that I've got my deodorant just chilling here. I just realized that's a good
backdrop. Yeah,
here. We'll just leave it at this point.
Shout out Old Spice.
If you well, actually, wait, no free promo. No free promo.
Yeah. You get that out there.
You know, if you want to... Man, there's no way to repeal this. There's no way for him to get the justice that he deserves. And again, like, I'm not like a conspiracy theory guy, but did Donald Trump make a boss call? Did Donald Trump lose the birthright citizenship vote? And then he was like, send him off. Send him off. I'm just saying it's not out of the picture. It's not out of the question. Second thing I wanted to talk about is Ricardo Pepi, because Ricardo Pepi is most likely going to be getting minutes now that Balogun is in jail. And I want to say something about Ricardo Pepi. He is a bot guy. He is a guy that the bots absolutely love. They love to talk about him. They love to watch him. They actually don't love to watch him because who's watching PSV? Let's be real. Who's waking up on a Saturday morning like, I am so excited to watch PSV? Like, it's like, I'm sorry, no one's doing that. If you're doing that, seek help, because that's crazier than watching like 20 MLS games in a day, which we both do. Ricardo Pepi for the U.S. men's national team is what people describe Albert Rusnak at. They describe, like, the way that people describe Albert Rusnak for the Seattle Sounders is actually how Pepi plays. He comes on the field and I forget that he's there. Bro does not do anything. So I'm genuinely concerned playing against a Belgium team, which, listen, I watched that Belgium game. Belgium don't look good.
No. They're so beatable. They are so beatable. And if Balogun was playing, we would like low-key be favorites.
Yes.
Like, that's what I think of them right now.
Yes. Also, Pepi is a crash out. Pepi is a crash out. 2 minutes into getting subbed onto this game, and he's like chirping random Bosnian guys and like slapping the ball out of their hand. Pepi, brother, if you can hear me, lock in.
He better.
Lock in, because, brother, if you ghost, I'm going to be on your ass. You know who played better than Pepi today? Esmir Baraktarovic, an American who also plays for PSV and plays more minutes at PSV than Pepi. Like, I'm very scared for this matchup simply because we don't have Flo. And secondarily, because I think Pepi is a detriment to this roster. He is genuinely, when he goes out there, he is occupying space that is not, he's just taking up space. He's just taking up space.
Yeah, no, this whole red card situation, it throws the whole Belgium operation for a loop. If we had managed to finish this match with all 11 guys and Balogun on the field, I'd be feeling great right now. I would be like, bring on Belgium. But now you have the best striker that the USMNT has ever had. Shout out birthright citizenship, by the way. The best striker the USMNT has ever had is now not going to be suspended or not going to be playing in the game. He's going to be suspended. And like you said, there's no way to overturn or repeal that. So I don't know if anyone was asking that, but the answer is no. Like it's over. He is done. It sucks. And that's one of, to me, there's two guys you could not afford to lose. It's him and it's Chris Richards. I mean, now how do we score?
Yes, well, I also think Tyler Adams may be in that category.
Tyler and Weston, but see, if you had to go without one of Tyler or Weston, you would at least have the other theoretically, and like that, I think you could paper that over easier than you can. Like the drop off from Balogun to Pepe, I think Pepe was actually pretty good in the Australia game. He meaningfully contributed to the own goal, and also I thought the way he and Balogun were playing off each other looked good at times. But because he was playing off of Balogun,
yeah.
So if it's just him up top or
Pepe had 24 touches in 74 minutes. 24 touches in 74 minutes playing as a dual striker. I'm sorry, brother. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. And to not have, he had 0 shots on goal.
It's like going from like a Ferrari or a Maserati to like a 98 Corolla. That's
like, it's going to get you there. Like, you're going to get there. But like, you kind of just want it to get hit on the road and take the insurance payout.
Yeah, that's a little on the nose for me right now. But yeah, it is a massive drop off. I'm definitely worried about the offense against Belgium, and it just feels needless. It didn't need to. If he had done an idiotic, malicious, violent challenge, I would be like, all right, well, he deserves to be suspended, but I don't think he does, man. It's such a temple massager. It's such a temple massager.
Does Pepe even have a shot on target like at all in this entire tournament? I'm like trying to look right now. He didn't have one against Turkey. He had 2 shots that were wildly off target. He had 2 shots, but 0 on target against Australia. I don't know about the Bosnia game. I don't remember him taking a shot that went anywhere. Nope. And Paraguay, maybe, if he's lucky. Did he even get in that game? He did. He played like a couple of minutes, and he has 1 shot. Oh no, it's considered off target. Never mind. So he doesn't even have a shot on target.
It's just not a good situation to be in going into this game. I will say, well, let's
we're being doomer, but like
we're being doomers.
I think they can win this game still. Like I do too. Because Belgium is not good. Belgium. Let's talk about that, because Belgium got lucky as hell to win their game against Senegal today. Oh my God, were down. Talk about VAR, bro. Talk about some VAR bullshit every time. I'm telling you, we need to ban this shit. It's ruining the game.
They were down 2-0 in the 86th minute. Senegal was handling them easily. My takeaway from that game was going to be like, Senegal wasn't even sweating these guys really, and then Senegal fumbled.
They were a better team, hands down. Yeah. Senegal was the
better team through 90% of the game. They somehow give up the exact same goal twice in a row between the 86th and the 89th minute, and then that penalty was bullshit too, like you said.
Yeah, it was.
So the Belgium got totally bailed out. They didn't play well. They had to fight for their lives to scrounge out a 2-2 and then get a gift bullshit penalty right at the very end to win that game. Have not looked very good this whole tournament. KDB looks pretty cooked. Lukaku looks like a run stuffing defensive tackle. Like it's there. I don't think they're that good.
Like I was temple massaging a little bit at their coach subbing off Doku and KDB at like the 50th minute. I was like, huh? Like what? What are we doing here? But I mean, I guess it worked, but I mean, really, truly, they did get bailed out. I also want to say this about this thing. This is twice now that African teams were absolutely running. They were absolutely running on competition that was like European competition. And then the third quarter into the fourth quarter break happens, and they're able to re-tactically adjust and go on to beat these African opponents. And I got to be honest with you, Ari, I think that goes against the whole, like, the game is gone. The game is gone. We should not be having these water breaks. It was like 58 degrees today here in Seattle. Those are tactical breaks, tactical for ads, tactical for tactics, and it completely shifts the momentum of these games in favor of teams that are that play way more tactically instead of playing and like physically outmatching their opponent. And Senegal was also tactically beating them, but it was just like that really frustrates me. There's so many, I know this is all nitpicking, I know this is all like annoying, frustrating stuff, but these are the little things in this World Cup that I'm becoming radicalized. I'm becoming genuinely the old head who's like, the game is gone. Because it is.
Yeah. The game definitely is gone after that red card to Balogun. And you know what's messed up is, like, as soon as I saw the replay, I was like, okay, well, he's off. They're guaranteed going to call that. And I think the problem I have with that is I feel like we're talking about MLS right now, like banging our heads against the wall with the clear and obvious statute, but that is not clear and obvious. I feel like it shouldn't even need to be said. That's just a 50-50 subjective judgment call. So I think what happens in these situations is, like, psychologically, when you go to the monitor or the VARs, they see something that the ref didn't see on the field and it's different than what he saw or thought he saw on the field. When they see that it was different, there's like a switch that flips and they, oh, well, that automatically means that we have to change it. And I think that we just need to get to, like, this common sense place with this, where it's like, no, that just because it's different from what you thought you saw, that does not actually mean inherently that you have to change the call. Because really in that situation, all you're doing is taking a 50-50 subjective judgment call and changing it to a 50-50 subjective judgment call, but the other way. That in no way at all whatsoever falls under the clear and obvious category. But, like, you know, Nico and I were talking about
presentation bias to what you're saying. Like,
yeah,
the way that the VAR is determining, they are always looking to call something.
Yes.
They're never looking to overturn something. They're always looking to call something. They're always looking.
They want to change it. They want to change it. They want to be like, oh, look, see, we caught it or whatever. But, like, you don't have to do that. Okay. And, like, this is the example that I was giving, though, because I think there is a counter to what we're talking about, which is that, like, the situations where you can use it and need to use it is like the Alex Freeman Australia goal. That goal, but even that, okay, they got that call right, and I look at that and I'm like, that's how VAR is supposed to be used. Clear and obvious, clear as day. You can see that that's a good goal. You don't need to, like, look at it. You don't need to debate it. You look at that one time, you can tell. You say you don't even need the ref to go to the monitor. Someone can just headset him and be like, yo, we looked at it and that's blatantly onside. Just give the goal. Why does it not work like that? And even in my praise of that call with how it worked, it took too long. You don't need to stand there for 10 to 15 minutes looking at that. You don't. You look at that one time, you see Alex Freeman is onside. That's it. That's done. That's how VAR needs to be used and should be used. That's, like, the example that I can think of in the last few games here. These 50-50 ones are just, it's so bad. It's so off. Now our best player, our best striker is suspended in the World Cup round of 16, and we are. I mean, okay, let's talk about that. Like, are we just? You were saying you still feel pretty good about the Belgium game. I agree. I feel a lot less good, but I don't think it's. I don't like people are gonna be like. My first reaction was, we are chalked. It's over. No Balogun, no party. This is the shout out to the World Cup. But now, even this few minutes removed from it, I don't.
Let me share why, and then I'll let you go into your feelings on it, and then I got to get out of here shortly. But
yeah.
I think what really changed my tides was watching that free kick. Was watching that free kick go in the back of the net, winning a set piece, and just playing it brilliantly. Like, having a lot of set plays. Like, the US has a lot of set plays in this tournament. We've watched it. They've got different looks to pounce on these opportunities that they're actually getting. And they've been effective with it. Like, we see the corner kicks going in. We see these set pieces going in. They're battling to win those balls. Is is it going to be tougher? Is it going to be tighter? Are you going to have to rely on your center defensive midfielders a lot more, considering that like you're not going to be able to play through Balogun. You're not going to be able to just have this like tiki-taka and this just very clinical finisher, even when he's on his back foot. Absolutely. But what you can do, play for those corners, play for those set pieces, and finish them. Like that's what they can do. They've been consistently doing that. And so, I'm not saying go out there and play haram ball, because I don't think you need to do that against this Belgium team that is 8 billion years old, and there's really only like 1-2 good players on that entire roster. I think you need to run them ragged in the first half, and then really take the opportunities that you have. Take those opportunities you have. Like absolutely make it happen. It's not going to be fun. I'm like not looking forward to that match. I think this match is going to be incredibly tightly contested. Maybe it goes to penalties. Like I don't know. But I don't think that the US, even without Balogun, I think that they can hold their own against this team. Belgium did not impress me. I'm not saying that they're a bad team. I'm not writing them off. I didn't even write off Bosnia. But what I am saying is I watched them play Senegal. They are absolutely able to be broken apart. They are absolutely able to just not perform when they need to. Do they have secret weapons? Are they able to bring Lukaku off the bench, who potentially could be the best World Cup?
That's what they have.
Time?
That's what they have right now.
Yes,
he can't play a full 90. He can't play a full 90, but when they sub him on, he's like automatic to score. Apparently, it seems like it's happened every game for them this tournament. But they have not, like, I've been to 2 of their games in Seattle now. They have not looked good in either of them. They didn't look that good against Egypt. They had to pull out a Lukaku own goal equalizer to salvage a draw in that game. And the Senegal game, they were about
to score against Iran. They couldn't score against Iran.
No, and they were about to lose today. And honestly had one of the most insane comebacks I've ever seen. And got gifted the last goal. Let's be clear about that. But this is not the 2014 Belgium team that put 43 shots on Tim Howard. They're just not that team. So this is still doable. And I think this US team clearly is a lot deeper and a lot better than any other USA team that's ever come before it. It's just this is one of the 2 players that we just absolutely could not have this happen to. That is kind of the reality. So it is
one final thing before I go.
Yeah.
Christian Roldan, if you can hear me, Christian Roldan, save us, Christian Roldan, please. Christian Roldan, please save us. Also, roster him, Poke. Put him on the roster. Why is he still not on the game day roster? Just let him dress. Who cares?
I think he did that for the first game, but
I know, but they since he got injured, I don't know. Round of 16, when we're up by 6 goals, Christian Roldan comes in the game, scores a bicycle kick. Mark my words.
All right. Well, hell yeah, man. I'll let you go, but thanks for tapping in, brother. Good stuff. And I'll see you soon.
I'll see you soon. I'm sure we'll pod soon. Bye.
We got a pod. All right. Later. All right. Shout out to Noah for tapping in there. I'll rip solo for a little bit, and then I'll toss the call link in and take some calls. I don't think I'm not planning on streaming late into the night tonight, but I owe you guys a call-in show. So Hunch, if you're still listening, I know you said you had to go to dinner, but definitely tap in later. But I did want to get a few more takes out there on this game and just on the Belgium game while we wait here. I think we've been pretty negative so far on the show because I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty salty about the red card. I just feel like that's such a scale tilter for this Belgium game, where it's like the difference between me feeling actively good about that game and being like, hell yeah, let's go, let's beat their asses, to being like, all right, well, I don't know how we're gonna score a goal without Balogun out there. Our level, I feel like, just goes so far back to the 2022 team. That was the vibe I got watching the Turkey game. That was all the B-side, to be fair. Maybe with the rest of the starters out there, you can put Pepe or Haji right in there, plug them in, and it'll work better. We'll actually be able to generate chances or, put Pepe in positions where he can actually finish some chances. It feels like it could be too big a drop off. But I will say this, you got to give the team credit for how they played with 10 men. This Bosnia team, as we kind of expected, did not have a hell of a lot going on in attack, but playing down a man for that long in the game. I mean, it was the 64th minute when Balogun got sent off. So that is a very long time to play down a man. It's not easy to defend that long in a World Cup knockout game. I don't care who you're playing against. So to be able to defend that the way they did, to keep the clean sheet, and not only that, but to actually score while down a man. To actually score while down a man was huge. Like, yeah, it was on a set piece, but that was kind of a clinic in how to play down a man. They were going against an opponent that was having a very hard time generating chances, even when they were up a man. But still, like, there was so much. I think Stu Holden was talking about this on the broadcast, but there has been a lot of talk over the years, including from myself, about how this team doesn't have the it's felt like at times that it hasn't had the intensity and the thing for the badge type mentality that the US, that used to be like an intrinsic part of the US identity was, our teams were like, we might not be talented, but we'll be athletic. We're going to run a lot. We're going to play defense. We're going to be hard to beat. We're going to give you hell. And I think one of the biggest complaints I had and others had was the kind of loss of that identity. There was the golden generation that were way talented, but like, if you put them in an adverse circumstances where they had to defend that long down a man in a knockout round game, felt like they would crumble. So having levied that criticism myself, I'll give them credit. Like they did not, that playing like that down a man for that long and then getting the second goal and keeping the clean sheet and winning this type of game, that's a sign of a mentally tough team. And that's a good sign, because I would describe this team as decidedly not mentally tough for the last however many years. Really, it feels like some sort of switch flipped late before the World Cup started. To me, like where I started noticing the shift was in those the Senegal and the Germany friendlies right before the World Cup started. Up until then, I think some people who are coming into this new might think that this team has just always been this good. That could not be further from the truth. This team just got this good within the last like 4 games. Until then, this team was kind of a chore. Not only a chore to be a fan of, but actively embarrassing to be a fan of at times. So to see the team go down a man in those circumstances, keep the clean sheet, score another goal. What a goal by Malik Tillman. Let's shout out Malik Tillman. We barely talked about him at all. That guy has real quality. I mean, that free kick, that is a very hard distance to bang a free kick from like that. It is. So credit to him, but credit to the whole team. Credit to the defense. Shout out Alex Freeman. Shout out Tim Ream. Yes, shout out Tim Ream. Shout out Chris Richards, honestly, just about over every American that I can think of. Chris Richards fills me with patriotism. Okay? That man, the service that he provides to our country is incredible. S9L 1974, member for 9 months, says Senegal lost focus and didn't finish the job. We won't do the same. Hopefully you're right, because I'm maybe I'm speaking on something that I am not fully privy to on this, but have you guys been impressed by Belgium at all? Have you been impressed by Belgium at all this tournament? If I had, I would admit it. I would say they've looked really good. They've been a great Belgium side. They look like they're ready to make a. They don't look like that. They don't look like that. I was thinking to myself during the Senegal game, like, damn, I kind of hope Belgium wins this because I would rather play them than this Senegal team. And I still kind of feel like that. They did win that game, but they pulled that out of their ass, dude. That was not a good performance. Any win in a World Cup knockout game is a good win, but they definitely did not take it to Senegal. They did not look better than Senegal. They looked a lot, I think, worse than Senegal for pretty much the entire game until the 86th minute. That was very one-sided. So how much does not having Balogun end up sinking us is the question. How much? Because I think this team can win this game without Balogun, but I also don't know if I trust either of the backups to hit the broadside of a barn. Like, you're telling me if you see either Pepe or Haji Wright open in front of goal, you have any confidence at all that they're going to put it away? I don't. And by contrast, I have all the confidence in the world that Balogun is going to put his chances away. That guy can't miss right now. He's a couple borderline offside calls from being like a golden boot contender. He's been one of the best players of anybody on any team in the whole tournament. Like, I don't think that's overstating it to say that. That's how good he's been for our team. So, and it just sucks because it feels unjust. It feels unjust. And it didn't need to happen. More worried from a defensive standpoint. I feel good about the defense, assuming that it's not the bad news bears out there that were out there against Turkey. I feel good about the defense. I thought the back line was pretty excellent in this game. Bosnia wasn't offering much. Bosnia couldn't keep the ball. Bosnia was in that mode where they just couldn't maintain possession. So they were lumping it forward, playing for counters and set pieces, whatever. That's what I would expect them to do. Belgium's not going to do that. Maybe they should. Maybe that would make their team better. But I don't know. Dusty says Belgium is washed. I've stopped short of saying that. I don't like to jinx things. But that's kind of how they look, man. That's kind of how they look. They have one bit. And that's sub on Lukaku in like the 70 whatever minute. And he can still, I mean, that is, I fear that. But as far as like KDB goes, I think he's looking a little past it, man. He's looking a little past it. He doesn't have the pace or explosiveness that he used to. Doku does, but Doku, I think that the problem Belgium is running into is that Doku's really their only kind of truly dynamic, creative force in attack, with KDB not playing that well. And when you only have one way to hurt somebody, teams at this level, especially in the World Cup, teams are going to be able to take that away. And you saw Egypt very clearly game planned all around neutralizing Doku, and I thought they did a great job of that. And Senegal, for the most part, seemed like they had a lot of success neutralizing this Belgium attack up until the very end, and then they fumbled it. Doku reminds me of Manungu. Yeah. Like, at least in this World Cup, not for Manchester City, or that's who he's on, right? Yeah, for Manchester City, he's like a demigod. But for Belgium at this World Cup, He has not looked. He's not lighting the world on fire. I don't know. And our wide defenders, whether it's Jedi, whether it's Alex Freeman, whether it's Serginho Dest, all these guys are hella athletic and fast. And if I could pick anybody to be able to hang with a guy like Doku from a physical standpoint, it would be our group of wide defenders and even our wingers, man. Our team is got like if it's just about pace and athleticism, our team actually has enough of that to hang with guys like this now. It's kind of weird. But like, you know, there were past years where a guy like we could be going into a game against a guy like Doku, and it's like, okay, what's our plan to stop that? Graham Zusi. All right, let's see how that goes. Usually didn't go that well. I don't mean to, you know, send a stray at Graham Zusi. It's just not the same thing as Serginho Dest or Jedi or Alex Freeman. So this Belgium team's not that good. They're beatable. They're not in good form. Got very lucky to win today. Should have lost to Senegal. I think I'm just kind of feeling a little doomsday because losing Balogun is a disaster, but it just feels like it didn't need to happen. And as a couple people have correctly pointed out, there have been multiple other instances. Messi had a challenge like that. That's the other thing. That's the other thing. Was Messi's challenge not very similar to what Balogun did? Was it not? They would never give him a red card for that. In a million years, you could play this tournament a million times and have Messi make that challenge in every single one. They'll never give him a red card one time. But of course, when our guy does it, it's an auto red. They would never give Messi that. Or like a well-known global superstar. It just wouldn't happen. Just wouldn't happen. Wouldn't happen. So it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. Could have cost us the game today. Luckily it didn't. But it's a temple massager. We'll see how they line it up. My guess would be Pepe starts because Pepe played in the Australia game when Pulisic was out. So it just I don't think I'm as down on Pepe as Noah is. I think that I actually thought he and Balogun looked good in the Australia game. I thought he played like he was making good runs. He was pressing well. He made the right run that helped force the own goal. Want to give him credit for that because I know people say own goals don't count, but that own goal doesn't happen if Pepe's not making the run that pulls the center back into the spot where it deflects off him into the goal. So I got the press conferences pulled up here, and it's the Bosnia guy first. when Pochettino talks, I'm gonna have to get up for a minute or two because I need to record it. So I got to go set that up in another room. It should only take a second, so I will have to jump up and do that when Pochettino comes in. But it should only take a minute or two. Hi from Brazil. I support Botafogo. Hell yeah, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Shout out Botafogo, Club World Cup opponent of the Seattle Sounders. That was a good ass game in the Club World Cup. Seattle Sounders almost won that one. Almost won that one. That was one of the more ill-advised Nuhu plays, wasn't it, that day? we gave Nuhu a hard time for that Botafogo game, but with the benefit of hindsight, that L was not fully on him. But that was unfortunate because that was the game in the Club World Cup that Seattle really had a chance to win. The thing that people aren't going to want to admit is that Danny Musovski would feast on this USMNT. In this system, bro, can you imagine Moose in this system? You think Balogun's been playing well. In all seriousness, I would take Moose as the backup on this team over our backup strikers. Messi's was way worse, came into the tackle studs up in a very dangerous and reckless way. Ballo was literally landing from a jump and the guy's ankle got caught under it. The only way you can tell me that Balogun challenge merits a straight red is if to know that for that challenge to merit a straight red, you would need to be psychic. You would need to be able to get into his mind, read his mind, and tell me that he meant to do that. Failing that, you either give it a yellow or you leave it how it was called on the field, which was no card. Oh my God. What are we? I don't know what we're talking about. And it's frustrating to have to be this guy because I adamantly I disagree with Noah's whole soapbox about how we need to abolish VAR. I think that is something that people say. And then when the reality, like the whole like human error is a part of the game thing, I can't get on board with that because when it's a call like this, it's easy to say that. When your team gets knocked out of a tournament, the World Cup, the playoffs, Champions League, whatever the case may be, on a blatantly missed call that could have been easily corrected with one look at a replay, the beauty of the human error suddenly goes away. And it makes way for blood-boiling frustration and a feeling that you got robbed. Because before they were able to review these calls, these were just robbery situations. You know, people say like the Diego Maradona hand of God is like this legendary moment that shows why VAR sucks. He cheated. Like, yeah, it stood because there was no VAR back then, but that was not like a beautiful moment of footballing. It's legendary because it was such bullshit that goal counted. So it's to me, it's not about VAR itself. It's about how they apply it, when and how it's applied. And we have so far lost the plot with some of it, man. We've so far lost the plot. Going back, relitigating 50-50 calls. And then like this call against Balogun, like even if you do think it's a red card, it's a 50-50 debatable play. So all they did was take it from one 50-50 subjective call and change it to another 50-50 subjective call. That's not getting the call right. That's just changing it to something that's equally controversial. How do we not understand this? It's not a hard thing is my other problem with it. Like it's not hard for the VAR to be like, all right, I might think that's a red card. In my opinion, if I see studs to the back of the calf like that, when I slow it down, I think that's a red card. But at the end of the day, like if he didn't call it on the field, that's my subjective opinion. So I'm not going to send him over to the monitor to confirm my subjective opinion on a call that was 50-50. Stupid. It's trash. It's a trash call. Knowing you're also a Sounders fan, thoughts on Reagan not being on the team with such a lack of defensive depth? Saw that Sounders made it a little difficult for him to make it on top of injury. Yeah, I think we all wanted Jackson Reagan on this team. And given how the backup center backs looked against Turkey, I think we were kind of validated in that. I mean, could it have been worse than that? That was genuinely had to have been one of the worst USMNT center back performances I've ever seen. You know, I'm not trying to pile on Miles Robinson and Mark McKenzie. They were trying out there. They did very not good. I was sitting there watching that saying, man, you know who would have been helpful in this situation was Jackson Reagan. So, but yeah, you are correct. There was a dispute where Seattle wanted him back for preseason before Champions League, I think was the situation. And U.S. Soccer said you can either stay for the whole camp or not come at all. It was something to that effect. Jackson was not happy about it. He stated that he was not happy about it. And he never really hasn't gotten a look since. So go figure. Super late, but can the round of 16 ban be appealed? No, it can't. I mean, I'd have to look it up to be absolutely sure. But even I can tell you this, even if there is an appeals process, that would not get overturned. It would not. It needs to be, at least the way it works with the MLS disciplinary committee, is it goes to a panel. It needs to be unanimous. And it also, like, I think that was an egregiously bad call, but it's 50-50 enough to where, like, they don't use appeals processes, no league, no federation. They don't use appeals processes to, like, look at 50-50 calls. They look at them for 100-0 calls, I think is the easiest way to think of it. So, no, Balogun he's suspended. No Balogun against Belgium. Which is unfortunate to say the least, not just for our team, but the nation as a whole. It's tough. And it kind of, it sours what should be. It should have been a great win, and it is a great win. I don't want to, like, take away from that. It's a great win. It's a great win. 2-0 in a knockout game against an opponent that was overmatched on talent. But, like, I told you guys, these Bosnian guys don't mess around. And, okay, this is another tangent. This is another soapbox, though. The Bosnians were beating the shit out of Balogun the entire game. Where was the yellow cards for that? Literally every time they saw number 20, their intent was to knock him on his ass. Okay, which, it's fine. They were doing it to Pulisic too. That was part of their bit. That's what they were doing in the game. But how about if you're going to give the man a straight red card for a challenge that was very, very clearly and obviously an accident? Can I get a yellow card for the guys for some repeat infringement? For them jumping Balogun every time that he was on the ball? Every single time he was on the ball. Between 3 and 5 pissed off Bosnian guys jumped him and beat the shit out of him. Can I get a yellow card? No, I can't. I can't get a yellow card, but I can get a red card for a 50-50 challenge that was clearly an accident. It's just the game is pretty far gone on multiple fronts. The hydration breaks are part of why the game is gone, but the VAR stuff, no persistent infringement yellows on the Bosnians. I will say though, shout out to the Bosnians. They were one of my bandwagon teams before the World Cup. I said it before the tournament even started. What they did to Italy during qualifying was absolutely hilarious. Imagine that game, but it's deciding whether you're going to make it to the World Cup at all, and you're Italy, and you keep missing it. And they do that, but they win and they beat you in penalties. That's what happened to Italy. So credit to our team for not letting that happen to us. But these Bosnian guys, they don't mess around. They play hard. They play physical. They have no hesitation about just running right through you. And their fans were awesome in Seattle. That was one of the craziest atmospheres and environments I've ever been at, that game. So I got nothing bad to say about the Bosnians. Other than that, they should have gotten a couple more yellow cards for beating the shit out of our striker, who went on to get a unjust red card. Yeah, Dzeko at one point absolutely demolished Tyler Adams. He sent Tyler Adams to the Shadow Realm. I didn't see any yellow card on that play. Getting hit by Aiden Dzeko that hard, it must be like getting hit by like JJ Watt. In all seriousness. All right. I'm keeping tabs on these pressers here. We'll see what's going on with our boy Pochettino. Aiden Dzeko, all 45 years old of him, absolutely smashed Tyler Adams. No card. No card. And, you know, Balogun, he had been playing so well. He had been playing so well, man. He felt automatic for a goal a game. I don't think Belgium would have had much more success stopping him than anyone else has had. If we can somehow get by them, I mean, at that point, we're probably talking about playing like one of the preeminent global powers on earth. But if we beat this Belgium team without Balogun, this World Cup is a success. And I think now by winning this game, we've gotten to the point where it's not like it can't be, even if we lose to Belgium, I wouldn't consider it like an abject failure or an embarrassment. An abject failure or an embarrassment would have been getting eliminated, getting grouped, obviously. But getting grouped like was so far out of the realm of possibility looking back on it. Losing this game, this whole World Cup would have been chalked. It would have been a failure. And that's honestly what was running through my mind when Balogun got the red card was, oh my God, we're only up 1-0. And we're down a man for 30 plus minutes to end the game. Like, that's the type of thing that can lose you a game even when you are the much more talented, much better team, is a red card with that much time left. So, again, I do think you have to give the team a lot of credit. You do. They could have wilted in that moment. They could have wilted in that moment. They could have capitulated. They could have gotten frustrated. They could have done any number of things that could have cost them the game playing down a man. And they held strong. Bosnia had a couple good chances at the end. Matty Freeze was up to it, but to keep a clean sheet in that scenario. And then also, I think my favorite thing they did while down a man was score a goal. Because before Balogun got sent off, I was like, we're for sure getting a second at some point. I'm not even like really tripping about that. That's going to happen. Then when he gets sent off, it's like, okay, well, now we're probably not going to do that. But there was the one that Pulisic had that was just barely offside, or that he was pretty far offside, but like that was a good chance. We had a couple good chances down a man, and then man, that free kick by Tillman, that was disgusting. Tillman, I gotta say, out of all the under the radar guys that we've maybe haven't talked about as much, but that have been very impressive like this whole tournament, Malik Tillman, very, very good, excellent. He creates the chance that Balogun scores on the first goal. And then that free kick was just world class. All right, guys, I'm going to get up for 1 minute here. I have to set up my recording for this press conference, but I will be right back. Give me like 1 to 2 minutes. Sorry, you have to look at a blank screen for 1 to 2 minutes. All right. Sorry about that, guys, but we are all set. Mauricio Pochettino talking to the press right now. I'm not listening to him. I'm just recording it in the other room. But, he looks pretty happy. I'll be interested to hear his thoughts on this red card when I get to review it later. It's funny. His press conferences he can be defensive even when it's not necessary. Like I thought after the Turkey game, he got real defensive in a way where it's like, he kept saying, why is no one congratulating us for winning the group, even though we lost the game? And the USMNT press pack, which is not very confrontational, was like, I mean, we literally just asked you your thoughts on what happened. And he brought up like the fact that Germany also lost because they rotated like 4 times. So like his demeanor doesn't always match what you would think it should given the situation, I guess, is what I'm saying. But on the topic of Mauricio Pochettino, I think there's some split opinions on him. I don't know about you guys. What do you think, chat? What do you think of Pochettino? I think he's pretty awesome. Like, if I'm just purely judging him as a coach, like a tactician and a game manager and all that, I just think he's been pretty lights out to the point where when I look at it, I can see, okay, this guy really is like a world-class coach in a way that I kind of doubted. I doubted at the start of his tenure. I think a lot of us did, because remember those performances and those results at like the beginning of his tenure was not that good. But I'm at the point with Poach where I'm like, this guy is freaking nails, man. Like, his tactics, his game planning, his ability to make adjustments. Like, honestly, I hadn't even really thought of it from this lens, but the fact that we have to play this game without Balogun, having a X's and O's savant like this as your coach, this is where that makes a difference. Remember going into the Australia game, we didn't have Pulisic. Remember that? I had a lot of my friends texting me like, dude, are we chalked? No Pulisic, are we chalked? The way that Pochettino adjusted to that and set the team up was like perfect. It set everyone up for success, even without one of the best players. Having a coach like this in this situation where we're going to be playing this game without Balogun makes me feel a lot better about it. And that's why, there's been these reports that he got offered an extension. I'd say if you can get him to lock in, if he's enjoying it and he's down to stay. I know some people think that you should only give a coach one World Cup cycle. If we can keep this guy, we should keep this guy. Like, I don't think there's no question about it for me. Asrata with the 10 bomb. Thank you for the support, man. Appreciate you. Says, proud of how the U.S. team has played so far. Yeah, I am too, man. I am too. And as you all know, that's not a sentiment that I express lightly or have expressed a lot in the last couple years. Some people have given me a hard, not as much as I expected, honestly, but some people have given me a hard time about like how much trash I've talked about this team over the years and how I literally like renounced my citizenship and said that I defected to Canada. I will say this. If this team has not made you want to renounce your citizenship and defect to another country before, then I don't think I think you're outing yourself as a casual. One of the things that Lobbing, Scorchers, and the USMNT bot community agrees on is that being a fan of this team for a lot of the last pushing a decade now or so has been like actively embarrassing. Okay, so I did say that I renounced my citizenship and defect to Canada. This team pissed me the fuck off that day. I remember why I said that. And I stand by why I said that. I've never been more embarrassed to be a fan of this team than I was when I said that. And there was multiple layers to that. Part of it was game performance of whatever match was in question. Part of it was how the players were acting and carrying themselves. Part of it was the federation, how they were acting and carrying themselves. But I was not proud of this team. I was not proud to be a fan of this team. I wasn't. So to get back to the original point, it feels good to watch a USMNT team play and be like, yeah, I can get behind this. These guys are playing well. They're playing hard. They're playing for the badge. They look like they're backing up the way that they get talked about. I would be blinded by hatred to watch how they played in this tournament and like deny that because of my like haterism. I've also, yes, I did renounce my citizenship. I also said that if you guys want me to stop saying stuff like this, prove me wrong. Go out on the field, take results, play like you're talked about. And if you do that, I will admit it. And they're doing that right now. They are earning, exactly, Hunch. They're earning the respect, which is, that's all I ever told them to go do. Not like any of them like care what I have to say, but like they carried themselves like a group that had earned respect that they had not. That, and I will never budge on that, man. I was there. I've been in the trenches with this team. Okay. I remember what that was like. If you're disagreeing with anything that I just said, then I just think you haven't been in the trenches. You're either coming into this new or you're coming at it from a place of denial. I've been in the trenches, so I think I can speak to as much as anybody, as much as most people, of like the difference in what we are seeing right now with this team at this World Cup and what it's been like the last 3, 4, 5+ years. It's been embarrassing a lot of the time. So I could not be happier to be talking about how they've managed to actually change that and earn the respect by how they're playing on the field and the results that they're taking. They were entitled with the previous staff. Yes, Hunch, I'm glad you brought this up. I'm so glad you brought this up. I was watching the HBO behind the scenes documentary that they made. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but they put it out. It's like a Hard Knocks style, but like 4 years with the USMNT. So from 2022 to now, and they released the first episode of it, which basically is chronicling the 2022 World Cup, which, because it's like a US soccer production with HBO, they don't talk about the blackmail scandal at all. Whatever. It's great behind the scenes footage. You get some good interviews, and they have the cameras there during like some of these team meetings and stuff. This is where it got a little revealing, because I felt like I was watching it and I was like, this actually explains a lot about the culture of this team and what bothered me about the culture of this team. And the moment that stood out to me the most was they had the camera going in one of these team meetings, and Greg Berhalter they were going around saying like, their thoughts on the game coming up. It was before the Netherlands game, or it was either before the Netherlands game or before the game right before that we won. But they were going around, and Greg Berhalter was talking to the team, and he said something to the effect of like, I really want this for you guys because you've worked so hard and you're all such great guys, and you've earned it. And then he said, you deserve it. That's what he said. You deserve it. Now it's like it's a small thing. Some people might hear that and consider that like a throwaway quote. Like, why are you reading so much into that? Like, he was just trying to pump up his guys. He said right before it, like, you're all such great guys and I want this for you. And so that's what he meant by deserve it. He didn't mean anything like with entitlement with that. I disagree. I think the fact that he said that is so illuminating to me. I wanted to jump through my TV screen so bad and jump into that room and just say, hey, no, you don't. No, you do not deserve it. You don't deserve it. You are not entitled to it. You have not earned anything until you go out and actually win that game. That's when you get what you deserve and you take what you've earned. Not beforehand. I didn't like that he said that. And I think Noah and I have talked a lot about, like, we're both pretty agnostic on Berhalter. We never hated him as much as the bots did. I think I've pretty consistently described him as a replacement level coach on the international level. Like, he wasn't bad, but he wasn't good. But the fact that I don't know, the fact that he said that, I was like, that kind of explains a lot about the culture around this team to me. The fact that he would say that. And I think that sort of attitude, it permeated the locker room. And that's how the players felt. They felt like they deserved and were entitled to something that they hadn't earned. So I think Pochettino has done an admirable job of undoing that kind of culture and mentality, like Hunch is saying right here. He even said it. No one was safe. Everyone had to earn their spot. Looking at this roster, it proves it. Exactly. All right, one sec, guys. Got to go grab my phone, but be right back. All right, never mind. Pochettino, I guess, is still cooking in there. One second, guys. Sorry. I'm running a little bit of double duty right now. I recommend watching the documentary I was talking about because, it's HBO, so they always kill it. They always kill it with the content. But there's genuinely, they try and I think make it as non-controversial as possible, but stuff like that might get by other people, but that doesn't get by me. Not with what I've witnessed. Not with what I witnessed, because this is what I'm saying, man. You could tell that that's how they thought about themselves and carried themselves, and it really bothered me, man. That's why I said shit like I renounced my citizenship. All right, I'm gonna drop the call link in if you guys want to get in on this. I could use some help with the double duty that I'm running. There you go, Hunch. If you want to lead it off, there's your link right there. Any and all are welcome. Hop on in. Lay down your takes on the USMNT, but also the World Cup as a whole. All right, we got Hunch on the train, so I know Hunch is down. Link's mostly in there for Hunch, but if anyone else wants to tap in, and again, it doesn't have to be USMNT related. I have not. We haven't ripped a call-in show since the World Cup started. So I owe you guys this call-in show. 15 for Hunch. All right, I'll be going in 15 for sure. I'll probably rip another hour or so, depending on what the call queue looks like. Link was packed after the game. Yeah, it's so I had to get home for this game. So I actually had to leave Belgium, Senegal in extra time. All right, we got Aiden in the queue. Let's go. The queue is rolling. That's all who's in there for now. So if anyone else wants in, go ahead and hit that link that I just dropped in the chat. Let's get Aiden in here. Aiden, bringing you on stage right now. What's up, man? How's it going? Welcome to the show.
Good. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I'm feeling pumped after this. I was kind of torn up after that red card, but the way we kind of responded to that hyped me up. I'm really looking forward to Belgium. It's going to be a great game.
Yeah. What was your reaction when you first saw the red? Because for me, I went straight to doomsday. I was like, God, the World Cup's over. It's over. We're screwed.
I think I kind of hit those. I hit that first. I was kind of, overwhelmed. I think I was like, oh shit, this is kind of it. But no, I think, seeing that replay, seeing kind of how Balogun got screwed over, it set me off for about 5 minutes, and then I saw us lock in, and I was like, all right, this is kind of proof that we can we can do this for at least a game. I think we can do it without him.
It was just so long to go, like before the end of the game, where I was like, oh, okay, well, there's also like still 30 plus minutes left. And that was just like the one thing that couldn't happen. But like, yeah, it was impressive, wasn't it? How the team locked in and like didn't wilt. That's what I thought was the most impressive about it. The mental toughness, man.
Oh yeah.
In a way, like, I don't think adversity like that is the worst thing for a team to go through in a tournament, because those moments, like the best striker, the goal scoring god who's just been carrying the team, he goes out and then you have to like deal with that and overcome that. I think those things can bring a team closer together and you can genuinely benefit from that. But then it's also like, all right, well, now we have the Belgium game and no Balogun. So I don't know. How are you feeling about that?
I mean, yeah, I think I grew up watching US soccer, and it was always kind of a one little thing happens, one little thing sets us off, and that's kind of it, you know? And I think kind of seeing this, and I think first couple minutes, that was definitely like, all right, this is it. This is what's going to be the end of our run this year. And I think seeing how we respond to that was really, it's proof that we're one of, I think, a few teams that are left here that really don't have one big star player. We don't need that one star player. We function as a team.
Yeah,
I think that's just something that we really stand out with. So yeah.
I think that's a great point about the collective, because so much of the World Cup and international soccer is like star driven, and we're seeing it with Messi and Mbappe. But yeah, like this feels like a real squad. Like it feels like a real team. So that's good to see. And what do you think of how close have you been watching Belgium? Because I've watched all their games, I think. I don't think they're that good right now.
I was at the Belgium-Egypt game in Seattle. And first of all, the Belgian fans kind of sucked. They were kind of quiet, and they were just kind of observing.
There weren't that
it's
many.
It's like how people watch tennis. That's exactly how they watched it, and it was kind of boring. But no, I'm very not impressed. Other than Lukaku coming on in the second half, I think that's they're not really a threat in my opinion. At least in previous World Cup runs. I think it's going to be a very close game, and I'm excited. So.
Oh, it's going to be lit, and we got it in Seattle, so I'm excited too. But it's just, I really wish the red card hadn't happened. But I think once I come off of that a little bit, I'll be able to get like pumped up for the game again. But Aiden, I gotta go get my phone now. So cook another take, and then I'm gonna get up, and then I'll be back in like 10 seconds. All right.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about? Belgium? How about World Cup as a whole? Seattle as a host city. What do you think of how the putting on?
Okay. Yeah, I can ramble. Yeah, so I have been a season tickets member myself and my father for I think since 2016. So I have been to countless Sounders games, and every single time I'm at the Clink, Lumen, it is just an atmosphere that you can't match anywhere else. I've been to about 5-6 other stadiums that, have MLS teams play with them. And the Clink is just the best place. And I mean, what you've seen from not just stuff with Seattle, but all the US games, I mean, these stadiums are showing up. But no, I mean, being there, especially for, World Cup Day, when they had the Belgium-Egypt game in Seattle, everybody was there. There was dozens and dozens of Sounders fans everywhere, and it was just such a great environment. Seattle is the soccer city for sure.
I think we've proven that over the course of this tournament. I haven't been to the other host cities, and we're all obviously biased around here, but I can't imagine it was like even the game today when the sun came out right as Belgium Senegal was kicking off. I was like, God damn it, this is the best. But all right, Aiden, we got Tribe in the queue now right behind you. But thank you for is this a first time caller, or have you tapped in before?
First time caller, long time watcher though, for sure.
Hell yeah. Well, thanks for tapping in, man. You're welcome anytime. I expect to see you after some of these Sounders games, and
will do.
And we're gonna keep doing some World Cup content. So talk soon.
Sounds good.
All right, shout out to Aiden for tapping in there. All right, let's get Tribe in here. Let's go. This is the call we've all been waiting for. We got Tribe. We got Hunch tapping in after. We got a whole call-in show going. But let's get him in here. It's Tribe. For the first time in the World Cup, we're gonna rip his tape. He was in Noah's vlog video. I saw that. That was awesome. But Tribe, What's up, man? USMNT 2-0 over Belgium, but at a cost. Balogun red card. How are you feeling? Are you crash out over the red card or crash up over the US dub?
If Messi can do it, then everyone on that pitch can do it. That's what I'm gonna say. He should have done it harder, so he really got injured. In my opinion, if you're gonna get a red card like that, make it worth it. Honestly, horrible reffing. It's common sense. It was just a mistake. It wasn't really as dangerous as some of the things we've seen that weren't given, and it was just a horrible decision to even go to VAR in the first place. But I guess you have to. It is what it is. We don't need him. We don't need him. If we're gonna play just like we did against Paraguay, like we did against now Bosnia, Pepe will do just fine. Honestly, it is such a great performance every single game. It's a professional performance and a very mature performance. Honestly, to be able to defend like that with 10 men, get up the field like you still have 11 and be able to bang another goal in. And it's just absolutely incredible to see. Mauricio Pochettino is like genuinely a breath of fresh air. And honestly, if we beat Belgium, greatest coach in the history of the United States by far. Already, it's been very good. What do you think though? What do you think's gonna happen next game?
I don't know if I feel like we don't need him sentiment, but I think once I've calmed down about the red card, I'll be closer to that than Doomsday, because I do think like Balogun, he's just been so lethal. He looks so automatic right now, and he's getting in such good spots, and his finishing is just on
the first finish was insane. The first finish was just perfect.
All tournament. He's just been such a beast, so locked in, and it feels like having a guy who's in that form has felt integral to these performances. But like Aiden and I were talking about, this is a squad. This squad plays real footy. Like one of the reasons Balogun is eating so much is because of how good the chance generation has been, and how the guys, the creative engines like Pulisic, who hasn't even played that much, but like, you got Malik Tillman out there dropping absolute dimes, Tyler Adams and Weston McKennie both playing out of their minds. So like, this is not a team that is Balogun or bust. This is a team that can play really at a really high level in its own right, kind of no matter who's the starting strikers are, because the midfielders are so good. So I think that we got a puncher's chance. It just sucks because with Balogun in there, I would feel actively good about this game, and now I feel like it's just kind of a total toss-up. And also, Belgium. What do you think of Belgium? Because I think they are.
They're a joke. They're an absolute joke.
They're kind of not good. Like, they're kind of not good.
With the squad that they have, they are an absolute joke. You have one of the best wingers in the Premier League. You have still a world-class midfielder, and you have very good defenders, might I add. You have the best keeper in the world, might I add, as well. And the keeper is the most prized position, the most important position, and you still manage to nearly fuck up the round of 32. How? With the squad against Senegal. Senegal's defense, to be fair, isn't the best, but you just, it should be a lot harder, It should be a lot harder to play against. I just don't understand. It just makes no sense. It's supposed to be a good team,
Yeah, no, I like it. If there's any time to be catching Belgium, now feels like the time. Sometimes I'm watching this team, Tribe, and I'm like, what? Isn't it weird like watching a US team that's like this good?
We're better than Belgium now.
What the hell? Yeah, when did this happen? Well, I guess Pochettino's just been in the lab when I would because up until I would say the Senegal friendly and the Germany friendlies, I was still telling anyone who asked me like, we're probably not going to do that well. We're not very good. But then it seems like there was some sort of switch that flipped, or maybe, just getting close to the World Cup has everyone just up in their game or whatever. But I think Pochettino is clearly a magician. At least the first choice starters are all playing at a super high level. It's just kind of I don't know. It just feels like this is a level that I've never seen the US play at this level.
The constant high press just cuts out any attack before it begins and gets us the ball in a position where we can start an attack very well. And our players are good enough that they know exactly where they are. That comes with playing with each other a lot in the camps, and you just see how it works. We're like Brazil, honestly. Well, what Brazil should be. Let's be honest. They're not doing that well either. But we are it's beautiful to watch. It's champagne football, and I'm very excited about it.
No,
it's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable to watch. And so, like, I mean, you got to give him credit. It's just, I don't know, maybe I'm probably letting the red card overshadow a little too much. It's just, I guess I'm more coming from it of like a man, I really wanted to see Balogun have a crack at this game just because of the form that he's in. But okay, I'm looking at it right now. Actually, I can tell you guys if a player or team official is sent off as a result of a direct or indirect red card, second caution, they will automatically be suspended. Further sanctions may be imposed. But then I'm trying to get to the part where it says you can't appeal, which I don't actually see. You can't appeal. You like officially cannot appeal.
Do you think it'll get taken back if we appeal?
That's what I'm saying is like you literally can't even do that.
You can't. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That is horrible.
But like what I was saying earlier is that they wouldn't have overturned it anyway. For it to get overturned, it would have had to be a situation where like the studs like totally missed the leg and it was just like a completely missed call. This is a 50-50 subjective call. But that's what bothers me about why they overturned it. Because again, all they did was change one 50-50 call into another 50-50 call. That's not what you're supposed to do. So
last thing I want to say before I have to go, the country's on fire, man. The country's excited. We need to keep this momentum. We need the eyes of the world are on us, and they'll be on our city again, right? The entire country is ready. The more games that we win, the more people will jump on the bandwagon and get involved. And then the more times we win with those people, we'll convert them into soccer fans. And then that's just how a whole new level of soccer starts in the USA. Just like the first World Cup. But this time it's so much bigger and better. So I just want to let everyone know you guys should be very fucking excited. This is a good fucking team. And we're gonna beat the shit out of Belgium and fuck Kevin De Bruyne.
Hell yeah, love it. Tribe, pleasure as always, brother. Thanks for tapping in. And,
cheers, bro.
We'll catch you on the next one. Always great stuff from Tribe. I'll toss this link in the chat one more time. We're waiting for Hunch at this point. We got to get Hunch in here. Let's see, hour and a half. Yeah, I'm good to stick around for at least a little bit longer. And we'll get Hunch in here. We'll get whoever else wants to tap in. I just dropped the link in there. So feel free to hop on, lay down your takes on the USMNT World Cup, Seattle Sounders, Major League Soccer. I mean, whatever you guys want to talk about. I mean, I know we're all in World Cup mode right now, especially with the US actually being good, which again is not a variable that a few more Tribe. Yeah, no, you're good. I thought that it was possible that the US would do well. I'll be completely honest. I did not think we were this good. I didn't believe. I was a non-believer. But you know, the way you turn a non-believer into a believer, it's not by talking about how good you are. It's not by talking about how good you are, and it's not by listening to everyone else who's telling you how good you are. It's by going out on the field in games like this, knockout games in the World Cup, and winning the game. Or going out in the group stage and winning the group. And that's what they did. When you do that stuff, when you actually take the results to back up what is being said, then people like me, who are non-believers or haters, can't say shit. I cannot say shit negative, even if I wanted to. Oh, let's go. We got Caleb in here. Hell yeah. Caleb, you're on the stage right now. What's up, man? Good to see you. How's it going?
Hey. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
I'm feeling
Can you hear
good.
me?
Man. Yeah, I hear you. I think you're like slightly delayed, but I hear you fine, and your video is good quality. So you're vibing. I'm doing good, Caleb. Wish Fuller and Balogun hadn't gotten a red card, but other than that, I'm feeling excited for the Belgium game. World Cup in Seattle's been killing it. How are you doing? Is the important question.
Well, I mean, yeah, no, I just want to say, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, as we're going to do as still as tradition, even though it's still not Sounders. If you have not yet, ladies and gentlemen, like the video, share, subscribe, comment, please, please give please, there's buttons over there, maybe over there on whichever side, but click those buttons and please, just give support to Haxton for Men's and Sounder and Heart and Full
coffee.
Pull Wines and
QED
QED coffee for the morning show. Because for every support, that's the great democracy that you have in the great Pacific Northwest that could be untouched. So, as I usually say, now that I got that out of my system, I really want to say this. Well done, Emerald City. You have put on as much as I'm gonna put as a quote from Taylor Twellman in 2019, that he gave praise to a certain striker that we all crave in the in the Rave Green, that we're craving a striker. But it was when Raul Ruiz scored the third goal against LAFC, and he says, take a bow, you've put on a show. And that is the Taylor Twellman quote that I put for the Emerald City as a whole. Yeah. To you, Noah, and everybody, saying, Emerald City, take a goddamn bow. It's not over yet, but still, take a goddamn bow, because you have put on a goddamn show. So everybody that's watching this, and that is not one that's going to be watching this in the future, clap for yourselves. Clap for yourselves right now. Clap for yourselves and congratulate yourselves for absolutely putting on an absolute show of showing high excellence of why the philosophy of football exists in this great country. So I want to open a statement with that. But yeah, I mean, the game, I thought it was, you knew the ref was going to call some BS, because like I said, I'm right with you. They're going to call it, because if it's not messy, if it's not if it's not messy, if it's we're probably, somebody's going to do the same thing. We're probably going to happen, somebody's going to get bammed on the same play in Seattle. As much as I don't want to be that kind of jinxer or whatever, but I could absolutely see a total turnaround of that call absolutely being played right at the north end, and just seeing absolute thousands of grand football Americans just wiling out because there's no call. There's the referee's gonna just be completely just, the referee's gonna just be completely just. What? Yeah. And then just absolutely peon with the game. So
he was doing that a lot. He was doing that a lot today when the Bosnians would foul the shit out of our players. There's a lot of finger wagging, a lot of point animated gestures. Okay, we got this. This is the clearest feed of the drum set that I've ever seen. This is nice. Oh,
thank you. I mean, she's actually 2-0 against Port Scum, for Ballard, and I can say that with great confidence.
There you go.
Yes, I'm glad you could see that. And again, I think this is perfectly set up for us in Seattle, because let's not forget what they did to us back, like you said, with Graham Zusi in the Graham Zusi era, when we we lost to them, and this is our lick back. Like this is like, if there's like, this should be the absolute belt to ass lick back, being like, okay, you got us, we want to get you back. Or as if any iCarly fans that's in the house, in the build, in the chat, like as the great Samantha Puckett once said, they hit us, we hit them back harder. That's the Seattle way.
We don't even need Fuller and Balogun.
So I feel confident. I just feel like it's going to be a good game, but just expect the BS. Because as much as there's much has been such injustice in the city on that field, with many games of egregious calls, I wouldn't be surprised if to also expect that, but control as our great beloved Brian Schmetzer will always say, control the controllables.
Absolutely.
To not just the players, but to the fans as well, because we hold a responsibility in that continuity just as well. So we have to, as the fans, also have to control the controllables in our behavior and in just the way how we're gonna come at this. So I say that, but yeah, I mean, and I bring the floor back to you, Ari.
Well said, Caleb. We got Asrata in the queue behind you, but I'll give you the floor for. Do you have any takes either on Belgium specifically, or just on the USMNT or World Cup as a whole to close it out?
Well, I wanted to do a little bit of a sounder take, just to, because I know everybody else has been in, US US mode and World Cup mode, which it's absolutely justified. I'm not, being like I'm not being the football, Karen police being like, you need to care about this right now. I'm not coming at that, but I will say we have to really now start getting back into the waking up feeling for Sounders of what the hell are we going to do the second half? Because we better the start of this game is against Port Scum. And like I said, I want George in my effing hands. I don't care. I want George in my fucking hands. Because yes. The Cascadia Cup.
Okay, that's the Cascadia. That's what I thought.
Yes.
I wasn't sure if you meant Philip, but you're talking about Cascadia and then Philip after that. Okay.
Yes. Because George needs to be George needs to be in the clutches of Brian, and Brian needs to have that smile of belief, knowing that the tactics is right, the effort is right, and not only is that right just on the players on the field, but it is in the coaching staff, and it is damn sure in the blood of the lifeblood of the fans that run this club, because the relationship of this club is between the players and the fans that run this amazing organization called the Seattle freaking Sounders. So we need to literally get our eyes focused on that. There's still a big eye on Craig. I want to once this World Cup stuff comes to a little bit dies down, I would love to get your questionably take on that about Craig and what this offseason is for what the Sounders could potentially make, and especially with the vote. But other than that, up the bridges, we beat the Junction. We doubled the Junction this year. So any of you Junction fans, I'm not sorry. But ladies and gentlemen, all eyes on George and Philip. We need to get trophies in the Emerald City because that is what the philosophy of what the Seattle Sounders is. We get trophies. And also, if you see this number 10, you see this beloved number 10, he'll be coming back. So as much as y'all love to sing, Pedro de la Vega, Pedro de la Vega, Pedro de la Vega, mi amor. Let's go, Sounders, and up the bridges. God bless America and the Seattle Sounders. Ari, you have the floor back.
Hell yeah. Absolute fire as always, Caleb. Love it. Great to see you, man. We're going to get Asrata in here, but we'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Always flames when Caleb taps in. We love it. All right. We got Asrata in the queue, and then we got Hunch up next after that. So let's get them in here. And then maybe if anyone else wants to tap in, feel free. Probably not going to take all that many more, but I can squeeze a couple more in if you guys want. The link is right here in the chat. And as Caleb was mentioning, let's get some more likes on the video just to make sure we're pumped in that algorithm. I haven't been saying that enough. So everyone like the video, sub to the channel. Also, shout out to all the new subs and followers that have been engaging with our World Cup content. It's been pretty cool. We're reaching like a new kind of demographic that we don't normally reach. So appreciate everyone who's stopping by. But Asrata, you are up next. Let's get him on the stage right now. There he is. Asrata, he's got his USA shirt on. He's got his Seattle Sounders hat on. He is decked out.
That's
He's
right.
ready to go. What's up, man? Thank you for the all the support, first of all. But
Absolutely.
how you feeling? USMNT 2-0, big win, huge win, historic win, but it does come at a cost. The
It
best
does. But
striker,
it's been a
red card. What do you think? How you feeling?
I think it's been a fantastic day. As you said, it is always flames when we have Caleb on the show. I just wanted to first give a shout out to a couple of our group members. Caleb, fantastic having you at the Ballard game. You made a huge impact on the Portland game we had a couple weeks ago. Definitely heard you up there setting the rhythm a whole bunch of times. So thank you very much, my friend. It was really great having you at the game. Big shout out for that. I was also really happy to see Tribe get on that vlog there with Noah a couple weeks ago, or about a week ago. That was also pretty awesome. So yeah, just really glad to see our members out there in the community and being able to get some shout outs there. So yeah, definitely a big fan of both of you guys. It's been a good day. Like, I understand that the red card is like seriously bad news, but I think we need to pump the brakes on the bad news Bears part just a little bit. Like, I'm really hopeful that we've got a good chance here moving forward. I don't want to be overly optimistic, but as you said earlier, I think we've got a really good squad going here for the World Cup. I don't think losing one player is going to completely sink this ship. I think we had like Malik Tillman had a really good game today. We got Chris Richards. We got all sorts of amazing players here going on. Weston McKinney has been fantastic this entire cup so far. So like, I'm pretty excited about it. I don't want to jinx us either. But that being said, I think that this is a different Belgium team than the US has faced in the past. And this is a different US team than Belgium has faced in the past. And I think that's very important. I've found it very interesting how teams other than France out of Europe have had a bit of difficulty this World Cup. Like, a lot of them are not as dominant as I expected them to be coming in here. And so I'm really hopeful that we're able to show that we're definitely one of the 8 best teams in the tournament. I'm really hopeful. And I think that we've got a really solid shot. Like, I don't know how Monday's going to go, but I'm very excited for it. It's going to be a fantastic Game 5 here in Seattle. Been really pumped so far. I also just want to give a shout out for Seattle as a whole. I think that I had a lot of skepticism coming into this World Cup. The way the tickets pricing was done was very frustrating. Seemed like the oligarch class was very much winning. And I thought that it was going to be a very frustrating tournament coming in. And I was wrong. I think that overall that it's been a fantastic World Cup. I think that Americans, like the average American who has welcomed all of these visitors coming in and with open arms all over the country, have really like brought out our best. And I think that a lot of the visitors that have come in and shared their point of view have been really happy with how this experience has been going. So like overall, I mean, I've been very stoked at how this World Cup's been going. I was frankly pretty down about it before everything started, and now I'm so stoked that we've had this opportunity that this does not come very often. This is the first time in 30 years that America's been lucky enough to do this. Only our second time being able to host all these games, and so definitely not taking that for granted. Been really grateful. I think that Seattle's been one of the best cities in the tournament for hosting. Not only the fact that we have an amazing stadium that is very well connected with public transit, which is why we should not go to Long Acres, just to point that out again, that we have a really good thing going and we need to keep this thing in downtown. And that being said, overall, Seattle, A+. World Cup in the US so far has been an A+. Really happy how things are going. As for the games today, I think the refs really blew it in both games. I think that they screwed over Senegal. I mean, in a sense that it makes it a little bit easier for the United States because I think that Belgium is not as strong as Senegal. I think that Senegal was dominant in that game today, and they were robbed. That penalty kick at the end of the game was a complete travesty. That should not have been a penalty whatsoever. And so that was very frustrating to see for the Senegalese. I think that they did a fantastic job. They deserve to advance. And then again, with Flo, should not have been a red card. Did not have intent. It's very obvious that that was not a red card infraction, but it is what it is. Got to move forward. I think that we're a strong enough team that given a few days to be able to plan for it, I think that Pochettino is going to figure it out and we'll come up with a pretty good game plan against Belgium. Not predicting that's going to work out for us. I'm really hopeful, but I mean, so many years of being a U.S. supporter in the World Cup has me always nervous playing against a traditional power in Europe, and Belgium's had a number in the past, but I think that this particular tournament, I like the strength and talent of the U.S. team, and I'm really hopeful that come Monday, we'll be able to see something amazing, because if we're able to pull it off, we're going to end up in the quarterfinals, and that would be only the second time ever the third time ever for us. The first time being 1930, which doesn't count because that was a freaking weird tournament. But 2002 is the only other time. We've only ever beaten one elimination game before. And that was against Mexico, another team that's having a phenomenal World Cup, I should say.
Yep.
Mexico is going to have a banger of a game against England coming up here. We'll see how that turns out. But super stoked for the United States, super stoked for Mexico. I'm glad that the host countries are doing really well. I think that Canada had a pretty good run here. They're up against Morocco next. I'm less optimistic about their chances with that particular team. But it's been a really fun World Cup. So that's kind of where I'm at. Pretty optimistic about it all.
Yeah, man. I think you hit on pretty much all of it right there. But just listening to you talk through it and just the notion of going into this game without Balogun, who's been so great and like our best player in the tournament. But I think you hit it on the head. This team is not about just one guy. This is a team. This is an all-around squad. And when you have a team that's not about the individuals, but it's genuinely about the collective, like it seems like our team is right now, then you can lose a player like this and you can still not only have a chance in the game, but like make a really good run at winning the game. And I think another encouraging thing about it, like you mentioned, is like Pochettino has already shown the ability to handle and adapt a situation like this. We were all pretty worried going into the Australia game without Christian Pulisic. I mean, I said that I wasn't, but I think in the back of my mind, I was like, it's not ideal. But then you look at how the manager handled it, the game plan he came out with, the lineup that he came out with, the tactics that he employed, and they were all so on point and lights out. Like, guess what? They went out and whooped ass anyway. So who's to say this Belgium team is better than that Australia team? But by how much, honestly? Like, I don't know. They're maybe are we overstating how weekend Belgium is? Like, that's something I want to be mindful of. It's like, I think we're all kind of talking about how they're not what they used to be, but it is still Belgium. It's still Jeremy Doku, one of the best wingers in the Prem. It's still Kevin De Bruyne, one of the best players of all time. It's still Romelu Lukaku, one of the best strikers of his generation. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, are we overconfident or the right amount of confidence?
So, I mean, to that point, they're not the Belgian team they used to be during the group stage, right? Like, just to be clear, we're in the elimination stage now. They're going to be all or nothing, right? Like, so I expect them to come out and hit us hard, and it's going to be a very difficult game against them. We've not had great luck against Belgium in the past. They've been a painful team to go against, but I'm still hopeful. I guess we'll see. Like, I got to be realistic about it. There's no sure things in soccer, and I'm really hopeful that we're able to pull it off. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I think it'll be okay. I do want to point out that the boys were able to get a clean sheet today. I think that's super important. I understand that they didn't play their best against Turkey, but at the same time, they had 9 subs in for that game. So I don't really think that that's a fair thing.
Now that we won this game, I'm never thinking about that game again.
Right?
I don't care.
Agreed.
Don't.
Yeah, no, those center backs, I'm hopeful we don't need to play them again anytime soon unless something terrible happens. But that being said, like, I think we got a really good team going, and I think that we've got a really good chance. We put a clean sheet against a team from Europe. Everybody was talking about how we've had so much trouble against European teams. This Bosnian team is no joke. They played really well against Qatar here in Seattle just last week. Really hopeful that we're able to do the same here. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It's gonna be a tight game. Really hopeful that we're able to make it a little bit further, and we'll see where we go from there.
Asrata, great stuff, man. Thank you for all the support, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Absolutely. See you later.
Take care. All right, we got Hunch last in the queue, so he is going to bring us home and close it out for the night. We're coming up on 2 hours, so I think that's about a good place to end it. But let's get him on stage. We got Hunch tapping in right now with no video. Hunch, can you hear me? Or are you? Okay, there he is.
There we go. Yeah, sorry. I had the wrong
you're
thing.
good. You're vibing.
Yeah. You got me?
Hunch, you are on the show. What's up, man? USMNT 2-0. Exciting win, huge win. It does come at a cost. Fuller and Balogun gets a red card. How are you feeling? Are you crash out over the red card or crash up on the win?
Well, I'll say this. If we can't beat Belgium without flow, we don't deserve to go forward.
I think that's a good way to put it. Yep.
That is my perspective. Would we love to have them? Absolutely. Would we be, the sharpest knife in the drawer? Probably. But that is where the Turkey game from Poach's perspective, you get to see, from Turkey, who was able to perform, who wasn't, what did they give you, what didn't they give you? Who should you maybe slot in?
Who would you start, Pepe or Haji Wright?
Wright. I'd give Wright the go.
Why?
Well, he's probably angry. And
okay, I actually like that. I like that logic. He's pissed off. Feels like he should have been playing more.
I think he's faster. And I won't even go so far as to say start them both. Let's put 2 up top.
Who are you dropping?
It's not a drop. It's a matter of, well, obviously formation, right?
It would have to be Tillman, wouldn't it?
I don't know if you can deal without Tillman and McKinney on the field at the same time. I think they're too instrumental. I think they're too. They're the gears that turn each other. So it's a matter of like
the Tillman Adams McKinney midfield is just so smooth right now. Like,
well, yeah, okay. I would take Adams and McKinney over Tillman and either of the two of them. I would stick with Adams and McKinney and drop Tillman if that's the case. Then yes. And
then run 2 strikers.
If you want to surprise them.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see. Like, honestly, I'm at the point with Pochettino where if whatever he pulls out, I'm like, all right, he probably knows what's up. This guy is just on point. So
I mean, he knows what he's got.
He knows what he's got.
And the thing that is the pillar / foundation of what we need is still there, and that's our center back line with our starting choices.
Yeah.
Richards, as much as it is, Ream. I mean, McKenzie was listed as injured, so he was kind of the not so bright spot in the Turkey game.
I mean, Miles Robinson, God love him, did not cover himself in glory in that game.
He did not.
That
He
was
did not.
tough. That was not an exemplary center back performance. I never thought that I would be this in favor of our country riding its hopes on Tim Ream, but I will say Chris Richards is a guy I definitely underrated before this tournament. He's freaking incredible. Like honestly, if you gave me the choice, like you can play this game without one, you have to play this game without one of Balogun or Richards. You have to like pick which one you drop.
It's exactly right.
You keep Richards in there.
That's 100% correct.
Like, you have to. So like the fact that he's in there makes me feel better. The fact that we have a coach who's actually an X's and O's guy who knows how to do this shit and make adjustments and like alter his game plans, that makes me feel a little better. The fact that we're hosting it in Seattle. I mean, the environment for the Australia game was absolutely insane. This is going to be that, but ratcheted up like a lot. So that's going to be working in the US's favor as well. It's not. I think at the start of the show tonight, I was pretty all doom and gloom because of the Balogun situation. But like now that I've been streaming for a couple hours and talking to the people, I feel a lot better. Hunch, I feel better. I think we're okay. I think we're okay. We're at least going to make a run at this. We're not going to lay down and let Belgium run all over us like it's 2014.
No.
That is not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Well, so if you were to ask me the order of which I would not want to lose players in terms of, let's say, red card suspension, it'd be Richards, then Pulisic, and then Flo, in that order. And
I think
he's third on the chart.
I agree because his value. I mean, honestly, Flo's kind of doing it all right now, but like Pulisic is like the creative engine of the team.
Correct.
So losing that's why it was kind of anyone's guess as to how that was going to go in the Australia game. And honestly, credit to Pochettino and credit to the team for adapting to that. But like this team can't really reach its peak level in attack unless Pulisic is pulling the strings.
Right.
So,
and if he's got two options up top, how much more dangerous does that make him?
I just don't know how I feel about the options, but I wouldn't hate it. I basically where I'm at is I'll trust Poach, however he wants to line this up without Balogun. I trust that he is going to he's going to put us in a situation that's going to give the team the best chance to win. So I have no worries about that. I do worry that without Balogun's lethal finishing, it might be, goals might be hard to come by, but I don't know. Like we've been talking about, man, like this team is deep. It's versatile. It's resilient. It's all these things that a USMNT I'm just not used to saying about the US. Right. What do you make of how good the USMNT is at soccer now, Hunch? Like how do you think this happened?
Yeah. It's unexpected.
Yeah.
If how they went about who they brought was like literally position for position, and then maybe position for how does it pair with position 2, meaning, hey, we want this striker, but how do they, link up with their midfield if we take this other person, or how they link up with a left winger or whatever it is. If that was in consideration or not, I don't know. But they've obviously gotten it right. I will say this: if we can hold on to Pochettino for the next 4 years, we'll be lucky.
Yeah. Like I saw that report about the contract extension and I was like, oh, hell yeah. Like I didn't even know he was considering that. I thought he was foot out the door to AC Milan, but he might be, but if he's not and he's considering staying, like we should lock him up like no question.
Because once he had 2 years, and if he's already got, I mean, he's from his interviews, he's even spoken about it. He's like, it was a punch in the gut when he stepped in because he thought like, oh, all these people are going to be lining up to like help them facilitate, get this thing going. And he's like, there was nobody. Like nobody said anything. And like
it's U.S. soccer. It's U.S. soccer. Poach, what do you think's going on, man? This is on you.
Well, first off, it was disbelief. Like no one believed in the program at that point. Secondly, it was like, oh well, the guy who went at the door like took whoever with him. And thirdly, it's like, what has this team ever done ever? It's like there is no like core belief of like, hey, let's all just like kumbaya, get this ball rolling, and we'll take it forward. Like that that wasn't something to tap into because it wasn't there. It's never been there. So having all that set aside, like to have 4 years, and if he has any modicum of like success, how you attract like people, not that Obed would get starts on this team, but how you get people who are deciding where they're going to play, that changes.
Yeah.
Like, your player pool changes.
I hadn't even thought of that, but like the further this team goes and the better this team does, and the more like the world gets to watch this team and then sees like how like Pochettino's impact on that. And then if he does stay, that's going to totally incentivize like dual nationals and more guys like Balogun, you know, shout out birthright citizenship like that. It'll only help the recruitment, honestly, I think, if we extend him.
Well, not to mention staff, not to mention maybe sponsors, which has to do with funding, which has to do with support. And then like the attention you're going to get from teams in the lead up to that. Like you're going to have a Gold Cup. Maybe we get invited back to the Copa America or whatever it is. And you're going to get like even more of a best effort, which means, you know, iron sharpens iron here. Like the teams that you're bringing in on that are going to become more developed and more resilient because the competition they're going to face is not, oh, the team that lost to Belgium 6 years ago, whatever it was. It's the team that went to the quarterfinals. It was the team that like has become the preeminent team in North America or North and South Central America, or who freaking knows? Like it can only go up. Now, if they lose him, how does this all go out the window? Like, I don't even know.
I mean,
like,
yeah,
where do you go?
I'm not letting my mind even go there.
That's a whole other thing. That's a whole other thing.
I don't want to think about that, which is, it's funny because like his tenure started off like honestly pretty badly. Like I was like, is this guy even better than Berhalter? I feel silly for questioning that now because he's clearly like, you know, you can just tell when you've got one of those savant type tactics coaches. He is one of those guys. Like there's only so many of those guys in the world at a given time, and we got one. So like,
yeah, but he's also, part of that is because he's like, why waste time talking to anybody about it? Let's go out and do. Let's go out and he's like, whether he had a point to prove or you know, an axe to grind or however you would say it, I don't think he ever probably took offense. I think he was probably surprised at the lack of support, but I think he's also surprised at the support that has exploded in the last 2 weeks, month, whatever. But like he's like, I don't need to say anything to anybody. What I want to do is go out there and do what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. And if that goes to plan or bears fruit as using what I know to be true about how to build a team and how to coach, why bother talking about it?
Yeah, no, totally. I think that's exactly how he's wired. And I think it's clearly kind of what this program needed, not just like the temperament and the demeanor, but I think it was so important to just get someone from the outside who had no preconceived notions or biases about anything about the player pool. You could very much tell from the beginning. He came in and was like, I have no agendas here. I have no skin in this game. I'm coming in here. I'm going to look at this and call it exactly how I see it from my years and decades of coaching and playing this sport. And I'm going to base how I do the job purely on that and nothing else. And I think you're kind of seeing the fruits of when you are able to get like a fresh perspective. You know, sometimes you just need like you just need new ideas, a new set of eyes. Yeah. I think that was huge. Like, and also, and you know, when you combine that with the fact that he's just like I really think that he's just a kind of a brilliant guy, clearly. Like,
yeah, and it's not even like a new perspective in that he thought about that's how he's approaching this. It's somebody who just said, you know, I don't know whatever you guys had going on before, but I'm here to coach a soccer team. And if I'm going to draft the people I'm going to draft and build what I need to build, then give me the perspective to have, you know, the view into who you've got presented and just let me do my work. And that's what he did. I don't think he took any second thoughts for any of this other nonsense that's going on. And I'm actually a little curious. They've opened up their new facility in Georgia as their headquarters. I wonder where he lives. I imagine he has to have some kind of house in the U.S. And I wonder how that's his community.
He doesn't live here. He doesn't live here. He's
got to have someplace. He can't be traveling all the time back home, quote unquote, back home.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he has like long-term residences, but like
Somewhere.
his permanent home, he lives in Europe. Jesse Marsh also lives in Europe. It's they I guess international coaches, you can kind of just do that.
I mean, I guess so, but like, if I'll tell you this: if he's going to stay for 4 years, he's going to have to find someplace.
Exactly. We need to adopt this man officially. Like seriously.
I feel bad for the Georgia weather he'll have to experience, but nonetheless, he grew up in Argentina. He should know. He should, he'll have the characteristics to deal with that. But yeah, I'm not worried. I think Belgium. I bet to both their games here in Seattle, they look like a team that like woke up and found themselves in the World Cup. Like
Yeah.
they were uninspired in Egypt.
I think we're all on the same page with that, and I've been kind of trying to figure out throughout the night, like, are we telling ourselves that, or is that actually what's happening?
No,
but like, no, that is what's happening. That is what's happening.
They don't look like they belong here. They don't look like a top 10 team, and I don't know where they're ranked, but I think they started somewhere in the top 10. They definitely do not belong in the top 10.
They should have lost today. They should have lost today.
Yeah,
should have lost.
They got you 10 minutes and a bad call, and they're through.
Yeah,
it was 80th plus minute, and they were still 0-2.
86. It was 2-0 in 86.
That said, so the people sitting next to me who I was there with, and even on Blue Sky, I said, CONCACAF, the gods have not been appeased. I'm warning you all now. Watch out. Like, we have not escaped this. And that was before like the 2 goals. And then we went to extra time, and it's like, oh, here we go. That was the softest penalty to ever decide a game ever. I was just hoping he was going to save it and make it moot. I really was.
It's so lame, dude.
Here's the other side of this, and this is how I know it's true. And I didn't want to think about it then because I was like, we got to take care of business. I'd rather face Belgium than Senegal as the U.S.
I had that exact same thought. I was at the game too, and I was watching that game, and I thought Senegal was going to win, and I was like, low key, I would much rather play Belgium than this team.
That's exactly right. Yeah, so that tells you where Belgium's at. Not to mention, you know what? If the Seattle Times or New York Times or somebody wants to take this off of this podcast on this video, you could take it. The Belgian fans are turds. They suck. I went to 2 of the games with them here. You wouldn't know they were there. You would not know they were there. There was a Senegal dominant fan base, cheering going on in the stadium. But that stadium today was quieter than any of the games, even MLS or otherwise. The Belgian fan. The first game I went to against Egypt, the people behind me were talking about a friend of theirs that wasn't even there and how he could dress business casual. And then in the second half, they didn't get back to their seats to the 89th minute. They were gone for the entire second. It was like, oh, whoops, I guess we missed it. Their fans were right above us, like their support section. They suck. Like the Bosnian fans, phenomenal. The Egyptian fans, the Iranian fans, the Qatari fans were even better. The Belgian fans suck. They suck butt. I'm sorry. They do. They were not good. Especially of all the European teams out there. Like, they have no character. It's like they, much like their team, they woke up and found themselves in the World Cup. Like, I don't know what it is. And maybe that will inspire them to do something on Monday. Maybe not. I doubt it, because I doubt they'll show up. But, God, it was so disappointing. As a neutral, it was disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just sinking in for me, like right now, like that Seattle is hosting this shit. And I was there like at the Australia game, obviously, and that crowd was insane.
Yes.
Like you said, Belgium fans, I mean, I don't know. I haven't interacted with any like you have to know, but like
terrible crowd.
They were just like in the Egypt game, like you said, they were vastly outnumbered. Like it wasn't, and the Australia fans were vastly outnumbered at the US game, but they were in force. You heard that they were extraordinarily drunk. If we're ranking the drunkest fan bases that have been in Seattle so far, Australia is by far and away at the top of the list, and there's not even a close second. If there's any Australians watching right now, I just want to tell you guys, the human body is fundamentally not designed to have that much alcohol ingested at that type of hour. I'm walking by, it's like 8:27 in the morning, and you guys are absolutely blathering all over yourselves to the point where I was like, they're not going to make it in the game. And then they did. So I was actually impressed by that. But anyway, that was a side tangent. The crowd at this Belgium US game is going to be very partisan in favor of the United States. It's going to be lit. It's going to be rowdy. And I mean, it's going to be, the fact that we get another game where the entire world's watching Seattle. Hell yeah, man. Let's go.
Yeah, I can't, dude. I can't. So I have a ticket. For the game, but the prices just go the way they do. I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, side story. I was at the Belgian game, the first one against Egypt, with some Australians, and even they were like, "Are there Belgian fans even here?" Like, we sat right below their fan section, so we were in the northeast corner on the lower bowl. So they, if you saw the contingent today, because in the same section, they're in the 300 level on the northeast. Like, that's where the Belgian fans are, like, positioned. No chance, no cheers, no nothing until they finally like got tied or whatever. And even then, it was just like, really, guys? Like, I thought you were supposed to be like a contender and have some sort of like culture around your team, and it's not there. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I feel bad for them coming up. It sucks we're gonna miss Flo, but again, if we can't beat Belgium without Flo, we don't deserve to move on anyway.
No, I actually totally agree with that. Like, if that is what the deal breaker is, then so be it. Let the chips fall where they may. But all right, Hunch, I got Timbo in the queue behind you. So
go, man.
Oh, okay. I got a couple more. Okay, all right.
Let's go.
We're keeping it rolling. But good stuff, man. Thanks for tapping in, and we'll get you on the next one.
Yeah, looking forward to the Timbers match in a couple of weeks as a return to MLS, and I hope we still have the grass field.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll see. That's Timby's game is actually, it's only a couple weeks away. So
yep.
But it's gonna feel like it's gonna feel like way longer than that. But all right, Hunch.
Thursday, yeah. All right.
Yeah. Take care, man. Catch you next time.
Man. Yep. Bye.
All right, we got Timbo up next. Timbo,
what's going on?
What's going on, man?
Good you hear me okay?
Yeah, I got you. USMNT 2-0. Moving on to the round of 16 to play Belgium, but it comes at a cost. Balogun with the red card. Are you hype on the win, or are you despondent about the red card?
I don't think I'm despondent about the red card. I think they're going to overturn it. Honestly,
Really?
I think that red card was fucking weak as shit compared to some of the other stuff. I mean, granted, I understand that Balogun is not Lionel Messi, and so like we're not going to get that kind of pass. But honestly, I have a hard time believing. I mean, the jokes even tonight were that the White House might chime in on this one and kind of put some pressure on Infantino, which enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of situation. I don't know.
Hey, no, I don't think the thing is I was just reading through. Like, I don't think you can appeal it. I don't think you can.
Oh, I thought, especially during the World Cup in these kind of special situations, they take a quick look at it and then they make a call. So, I mean, I definitely think we're at a loss without Balogun for sure.
Okay, so here's the rule. Here's the rule. I got the rule now. You can only appeal it if they tag you with extra games beyond the one game. If they give you the extra games, then at that point it goes to the committee or whatever. But if it's just the one game, which this one is only going to be the one game, then there's no recourse. And like, I don't think they would have overturned it anyway, because it wasn't like it's stupid, because the reason they wouldn't overturn it is because it's a 50-50 call. It's subjective. It's not one where you can say 100-0, but that's why you can't change it if what you had on the field is called a certain way.
It's such a horseshit call, but that's the other side of the coin. Is like, why do we can go back to this conversation to round robins about the nature of the ideal of the law, or the ideal of the rule, right? In VAR, what they should follow, and I mean, I don't know. I just feel like it was just kind of a soft red. Is what it is. I mean, I'm not bummed though about the U.S. men's national team playing in Seattle here, on Monday. I think it's been really nice to showcase Seattle as kind of a soccer town, and like the city's kind of embraced it, and people have come down. The entire region's kind of into it, and that's really nice to see. Even for games like the one earlier day against Belgium, like that was a fun game to watch.
There has not been a single empty seat I've been to all the games in Seattle. There hasn't been a single empty seat at a single one of them.
Yeah, and I think there was I cannot afford to go to these games, but I'm glad that somebody is going, regardless of whether they're paying $500 or $5,000 for a seat. I think that's great. I wish it was more accessible. I think that's what I'm bummed about, is that I feel like I would like to go to one of these games. It is what it is, though, in that regard. So, and there's opportunities, and at least the seats are being filled. People who are, I would not consider myself a diehard, American outlaw, U.S. men's national team fan by any means. So I'm glad somebody's taking that up. I'm glad England's doing Wonderwall at the end of their games. We're doing Country Roads. I think that's just fucking dope. Germany doing Major Tom for the games they were in. I don't know. I think overall, I think it's been a good World Cup. I think and granted, there's corruption and there's people who are getting fucking rich as shit off it. That's kind of the dark, seedy underbelly of it. But overall, I've really enjoyed all the games.
No, I think it has gone really well hosting here, and Seattle's doing the best, but it's like I think people were rightfully skeptical of it all, and I gotta say, it's killing it. But I think a lot of that credit goes to the cities themselves.
Absolutely,
more than the people who planned it. But
correct. I think the people at the top who are just kind of taking their cut and leaving town are always going to be there. But I think the city's embracing it. The fact that you could, I was hearing about people being able to open drink in Pioneer Square, which just seems fucking wild to me. But people, it's a party, and I think people are taking advantage of it. Down in the South Sound where I'm at, the Puyallup tribe's hosting, all sorts of events and things that folks can go to and watch and it's throughout the region. And it's not just us. There's fucking stuff down in SoCal right now that seems really awesome that people are a part of. And then even in Mexico, it makes me want to take a road trip from, Laredo to Monterrey the next time we play, Leon. It's kind of giving me ideas oh, that's a fucking really dope stadium in Monterrey. I should go to that stadium at some point in my life, regardless if it's a World Cup or not. So I think there's a good exposure. There's a lot of Sounders fans who are I should start watching European football. That's great. I think it's just there's a exposure that's going on right now that's not Sounders specific. It's not MLS specific. We were looking at soccer as kind of a world sport and what's going on in the world. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's been one of the coolest things from our end is we're doing World Cup coverage and content and just actually seeing looking at our analytics and the reach of how we're one day we're doing numbers in Bosnia, the next day we're doing numbers in Iran, next day we're doing numbers and that's something that we couldn't be doing covering any other sport. We could be covering the NFL or Major League Baseball, and it's we would not be able to do that really. I mean, maybe with baseball you can.
Yeah,
but you get what I mean.
I get where you're going with that. Yeah, ultimately you can travel the way, and we've had exposure even prior to this World Cup with the Club World Cup and having that, but this is a whole nother.
It's a different ball game.
That's totally. I mean, on that note, you've been to? Well, I mean, have you been to all the Seattle games at this point?
Yeah.
How do you feel kind of just as a journalist now of the sport, now that you've kind of gone to these big events and I mean you've seen the stadium filled with when we've had CONCACAF champions and MLS Cup and that how is the World Cup different from what you've seen kind of when the Sounders have filled the stadium?
It's a different level of environment. And it's funny because kind of in different ways, the Bosnian fans took all the way over and they just had such a large presence and they had these coordinated dances and songs, but they were doing this stuff where they were jumping up and down, but in a coordinated fashion that literally made the crowd look like it was a wave.
Oh,
and
cool.
That created just one of the craziest looking environments I've ever seen. And their whole vibe was just so positive and like it was like a party. And then, you know, the Egypt-Iran one was just, that crowd was just going insane. After the Iran goal they got robbed on, that got waved off, I have never seen a stadium descend into chaos quite like that. Like, you had the pitch invader factor, so the guy fighting the cops, you had the Iranian players celebrating, you had the Egyptian players going crazy, the Iranian fans were going crazy in a good way, the Egyptian fans were going crazy in a bad way, and then the Egyptian media in the press box, they just don't give a shit. Like, they will scream and clap. Their press box etiquette is just totally
they're non-neutrals.
They are not neutrals. And honestly, I think the rest of the world seems to have a different culture with that. Even the Senegal media today, they were doing the same stuff. But like the Egyptian media there's probably 100, 120 of them in there. First of all, there's so many, but they were just going, they may as well have been fans in the crowd, which I think US press kind of looks down on that, but I was like, let them cook. It's fine. It's the World Cup. Like, it's just a different thing. But like when, and then even the Egypt Belgium games, how the Egypt fans took over, it's just like this, it's totally different than anything you can get from even the craziest MLS crowd or the craziest CONCACAF crowd, because like when like a entire country is like taking over a stadium, it's just a different level. And so like pretty much every one of these games I've been to, like I come out of it being like, that was like the craziest environment I've ever been in for a game, but like in a different way. And it's kind of interesting, like how the different countries like have their own way of making their presence felt, and how like much you can feel that, like how different it is. And it's just like, I don't know, it's kind of mind blowing, honestly, but also like the environment at the Bosnia game and the Egypt-Iran game, like I will never forget like being there in that type of, just like, it feels like you're just in like a, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but the game today, like the Senegal fans, the way they took over too, it was like a similar thing, and that's why I wanted that win for them.
You could tell they were definitely deflated once all that kind of those late goals came in, and then that penalty, which I think was kind of soft too.
I think that was a bad day for VAR, but what are you gonna do?
I am excited for you for Monday, man. Like between U.S. Men's National and your fandom of Belgium, I think it's gonna be. I'm excited for you. It's gonna be a good time.
No, it's gonna be legendary for sure. It's just I'm kind of wish we had our striker, but that's I'm gonna get past that. It's fine. We're good.
You know what? It's kind of much like this. It's going to have to be next man up, or we're not going to continue this tournament. We can't. This team is not going to go very much farther in this tournament. We're solely relying on. And I don't think we do solely rely on Balogun or I don't think we do either.
One guy. Like I think that's kind of the beauty of this team right now.
I think I would argue Tillman looked that free kick tonight was fucking gorgeous.
Oh my god, yeah, he's locked in. No, we're good. We're good, but
it'll be all right.
All right, Timbo, I got to get Sean in here, and then we are actually no one tap in after Sean. Sean is going to wrap us for the night, but we'll get Sean in here, then we're going to call it a night. But Timbo, great stuff as always, man. Thanks for tapping in.
Good to talk to you. Enjoy the Slick Up.
You too. We'll catch you on the next one. All right, we have got Sean, and then this is the last call. So if anyone else taps in after this, sorry, but I've been streaming for 2.5 hours, so got to call it a night. But let's get Sean in here to wrap it up. Sean, what's up, man? Welcome in. You are on the show. How's it going? How are you feeling? 2-0. The U.S. moves on to take on Belgium in the round of 16, but it does come at a cost. Fuller and Balogun with the red card. What'd you see? What'd you think?
One, I enjoyed it from the South Sound, and it was a wonderful little game. I would say that, what are you going to do? You get to that point, you see the injuries come in. You just have to hope that we have the depth, and I do believe we do. This is 2014, right? This is 2014 again. We get to replay some memories.
Get some payback. This is payback for pumping 46 shots on Tim Howard. Okay, like this, we finally get the chance to settle that score. Who would you start in this game? Are you going Ricardo Pepi or Haji Wright?
I would say Pepi. Like it we know him. I do believe that, like, at least give him 60 minutes. We've seen how Pochettino wants to kind of not shake it up too much. Like, we've not seen a lot of changes. Like, I was in town on the Friday that we played Australia, and of course there's a little bit of a where's Roldan, right? He doesn't want to shake it up too much, right? The team's been fairly stable, I believe. And I do think that what comes from that is, like, bring Pepe in. Hopefully we see some stability in the attack, and we see a little bit more like our first game versus our middle games. Like Turkey, that was a tough one. Today, being down a man and seeing that wonderful breakaway, and that's when I was like, okay, I can walk away, and I can know that we have done what we needed to do, in my opinion, for this World Cup. We have shown that we can do something from behind. That's wonderful, and I'm happy about that.
What did you think of the red card call?
Weak. I mean, he was in no way, he was off the other player, right? We saw what was happening there. Like, I played right back a long time ago, and if I'm challenging another player from behind and he's right there, and I'm like, I've got my right leg out. I mean, yeah, coming down, that was a big crunch. When I saw the replay, I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. That hurts. I don't think that's red card. I don't think it is.
Shouldn't intent matter? If you there is no way you can tell me he meant to do that. There's no way.
So I haven't seen the replay, and I wasn't able to I didn't hear what the VAR review said. It couldn't have been intent. Did they say intent?
No, but that's what that's kind of my it was, I think, rare violent challenge.
Well, it's always violent
or
when
serious foul. Serious foul was the word. Yeah.
I don't know the letter of the law as a referee. However, yeah, it is serious when you come down on someone else's ankle. It doesn't mean you intended to do it.
Exactly. Yeah,
so
if I mean, people have already pointed it out, but Messi did the exact same thing, but worse. They would never they would never have the courage to do that. But of course, when our striker does it, he's immediately sent off.
And as we've already discussed, it'll be difficult for the next match, but it is next man up, and we just have to deal with that, and that's what it is. If anyone listening right now, local to Seattle, go into town on Friday, have a good time, hug your neighbors, hug the other fans from Belgium, right? I mean, I was there Monday, Egypt versus Belgium. Like, the first day I was making breakfast, and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm not working today. And it was the best day I've ever had in my entire life of the fandom of soccer. I showed up, I walked a Japanese fan through Seattle. They were I ran into them on the train. It was just one of those wonderful things. So let's just remember to celebrate this. This is a wonderful thing. We don't, who knows when we're going to have this opportunity again to have this in Seattle. The U.S. men's national team winning, of course, is the paramount for us, but let's also enjoy ourselves and enjoy each other while we're enjoying ourselves.
I'm glad you said that. I was thinking about that today too. So I was down at the Belgium Senegal game, but I had to make sure that I got back here for the start of the US game because I was working it. So I actually ended up having to leave in extra time. So to beat the light rail rush. So I'm on the light rail while the game is going on, and I pull it up on my phone, and I notice the Japanese guy next to me is watching the game over my shoulder. So I'm like, oh no, I'll pull it up for you. So we're both watching it, and then slowly there's just this group of people that gathers around my phone on the light rail. So I'm the guy showing everyone the game, but it was they were all from different places and we're all locked in on the same game. And I was this is kind of this is the only context where this exact type of thing would ever happen. And there's like there's something like just, special about that I hope we can all, because World Cup's only every 4 years. This is this is a very fleeting moment. This is like 2-3 weeks of our lives that we're not going to get back for who knows when. So like, yeah, definitely everyone try and soak it in, especially now, because I've been trying to like, I'm always kind of like a worst case scenario type of guy, or like, I just try not to get my hopes up on things, and like, getting the US back in Seattle after how sick that first game was, it almost felt like too good to be true. Now that we got it, like this is a very, very special moment that we gotta make sure we appreciate this one.
Yeah. Again, like just to like give an idea of like how special this is. I'm riding the train into the Egypt-Belgium game only to just be in the city. I run into a Japanese fan who was on a 4-hour layover. He was at the game in Dallas the day before, and he's just flying through. And he's just like, I just want to go and see the first Starbucks. I mean, these are fleeting moments for us. The World Cup is in Seattle. let's have at least one more really positive and wonderful celebration, right? Let's beat Belgium. Let's do it. Let's do it quietly. Let's do it without any drama. Let's just
God, I would love
play
that.
our game, and let's do our thing. And then come on, Seattle. Oh, we've already shown. Like, I ran into some Australian fans late after the game, the day of that match, USA Australia, and they were bummed, but it was wonderful. It was like, hey, we're so happy to be here, and I'm, of course, like, exactly, we're so happy to have you here. Thank you so much for enjoying this with us. Like, you can't have anything. It was rough rolling up into the World Cup, right? Like, there are some vibes. And those vibes are still going to be there, and we have to work through that. But we can enjoy this moment and lift each other up.
Love it. Well said. Well, Sean, thank you for tapping in. I'm about to call it a night. I guess Hunch has one real quick more point, so we'll let him work that in. But thanks for tapping in, man. Appreciate the support, and we'll catch you on the next one. All right, Hunch says he has one more quick point. So Hunch, we're gonna make it quick, but I want to hit this from chat because we have a dissenting opinion, which is fine. We love dissenting opinions around here, but I got to respond to this one. It says about the red card. Are you guys new to football? It does not matter how it was done, intentional, accident, mistake, whatever it is, it was done, and refs have been calling accidental fouls as reds. And yeah, I realize that is how they call it, and that's my issue. That's stupid. The intent, especially in this case, that should be taken into account. It should be taken into account. And I realize that, we open ourselves up to you're the dumb Americans. Are you new to football? Yeah, dude, I don't care. It's whether or not he meant to do it should factor into whether it's considered serious foul play and whether he gets sent off. It's just a common sense thing at a certain point. Is what he did, does it rise to something that should get you kicked out of the game? No one would argue that it does. You can argue letter of the law all you want, but that doesn't make it a good point. The letter of the law is not necessarily good. The letter of the law in this case, even though they followed it, it's stupid. He didn't mean to do it. It was not a reckless challenge. It did not rise to the violent conduct threshold of something that should get you kicked out of a soccer match. It doesn't. We've lost the plot. If we're sending guys off for stuff like that. But all right. Sounder 74 with the 10 to close it out. Thank you. Have a beer. I will, hopefully, later. Appreciate you, man. And everyone like the video before we get out of here. Hunch. All right, Hunch, you're on.
Yep.
Last point, real quick.
Okay.
What do you got?
To draw up what you just pointed out, though, was if someone gets run over in a crosswalk, we don't charge the driver with murder, too. Like, sometimes an accident's an accident. You don't throw the book at them. But my point, what I wanted to talk about, which Sean just brought up, and it was something I meant to bring up when I spoke with you earlier. I think the U.S., and I don't mean the U.S. men's national team, I think the country needed the World Cup more than the World Cup needed the U.S.
Oh, 100%. It's a great point.
And I meant to bring it up earlier because it has, as Rada brought it up earlier, it has been a complete vibe shift. We as individual citizens have needed this because we've lost perspective on a lot of things. And this has given us a chance to be reminded of what's in the world and what's even in this country that we should feel better about. And to know that there's better days ahead and that there are good things that we can enjoy and also be a part of and still be ourselves. So this has changed my perspective. I've been down, but this has really changed things. So I
think you hit it right on the head. I think, and everyone who's like kind of been locked in and been a part of it is feeling, I think, that exact vibe shift that you're talking about. And I'm just hoping that it sustains itself, but it does kind of have the feeling of like I don't know if like a turning the page moment is a way to describe it, but it's something to that effect at least. So
it's like being locked in a dark room and thinking that the rest of the world is darkness because that's all you can see at the moment. And then you realize when that door opens, it's like, no, we're still in the same place. This is still where I'm from. This is still who we are. This is still what it is. And I just need to shine light and have others shine their light to restore what we know is true.
Absolutely. Well said, Hunch. I couldn't have said it better myself. I'm glad you tapped in to close us out on that.
It was big and it felt warranted. So thank you.
Yeah. All right. We are going to call it right there. Thank you all, as always, so much for tuning in. A marathon stream tonight, but for the U.S. clinching another game in Seattle, we had to do it up. So glad I was able to get the call-in show in. I owed you guys that one. So thanks to everyone who tapped in. And we'll be back at it. We'll be podcasting. We'll be covering all the games. We'll be follow us on all the socials, like the video, sub to the channel if you have not done so already. And great stuff tonight, guys. US going through Seattle. God damn it. We're hosting another World Cup game. Let that sink in. We're hosting another World Cup game, this time in the round of 16. Get some payback on these Belgium guys. Little 2014 revenge. I can't wait to cover it. Been having the time of my life covering this tournament. So appreciate you guys engaging with all the content, following all the content. Shout out to our new followers and subscribers as well. Hopefully you all stick around. But much love, everybody. I can't wait for this one. And we're going to be doing it up big. So see you guys next time. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Peace.